as I begin recording. So, Mortithax is dead. Mortholm is free. Her soul is trapped within a legendary soulstone. As you left Mortholm, Angus called the oaths of the Lords of Mortholm fulfilled. And with that, for now, they were laid to rest. When you returned to the Steamhammer in Bastion, your giant war ram, you noticed they had been looked after in your absence, more camouflaged than before. And Bastion had some fresh greensweet. A message was left for all of you, which was later found out to be addressed to Liska. A magically cloaked letter revealed by bright light. A letter of thanks written in demonic, mentioning Aisling and the rebirth of the Spirit Trees Grove. Perhaps that guardian shadow you encountered in Mortholm is somehow familiar with Liska. You went through all of the unique loot that you acquired from Mortholm, divvied it out amongst yourselves, and before you laid down to rest for the evening, Dejar, attuned to the complete set of the Wraith's Ensemble. While she slept, she encountered a vision of a Wraith-born family descendant, a deep dwarf in exile, in the rolling hills and dales of Cartha. The next morning, you discussed a number of things, including whether or not to yet resurrect the brother of Brasmith, brother of Thurgoll. Brasmith, who Angus mistakenly burned alive early on the previous day beneath Mortholm. It was decided it was better to wait until out of the Moorbook for Angus to fulfill the promise, his promise to Thurgoll. Liska took Dejar aside for a moment and to ask the Naga wizard about mentions of stealing one's mind against harmful magics, desiring the wisdom to wade into battle against devious spellcasters. Dejar, in turn, taught Liska a number of breathing exercises to firm one's stance, to take hold of a fond memory and ignore all other outside forces. We then all began to listen to the journal of Bron Farrickson, read aloud by Angus. As it turns out, Bron was indeed an awakened cult member, the mastermind behind the rise to power of Nogdo Ashbite, his so-called puppet king. He mentioned the Herald, and that when a more susceptible descendant of Nogdur ascends the throne, in his stead, he will present the egg and the key, the crystal tablet, to the Herald. However, the reason he pledged himself to the Awakened and Voldis was to find a way to save the life of his wife, Yara, from an incurable curse and an obsession which tore him apart from the inside and led him to forsake his own people. He threw away the egg when it couldn't help cure Yara, leading to a fury on the part of the Herald. And the Herald and his so-called beastly steed descended upon Mortholm, Bron, and his people. In his last moments, Bron apparently forsook Voldis and the Awakened when Yara finally lost her life, and he regretted his grave mistakes in life, and in a final desperate act, it seemed as though he made a deal with the Tahosian god of death, Banzala, to safeguard his soul from the Herald, the Awakened, and Voldis, in exchange for the crystal tablet. You discussed at length the logistics and ramifications of doing a commune spell to Banzala here in the Moorbook, but it was decided it may be too risky for now. A later date perhaps, and in a different location. With that, Dejar sent a message to Selma Dawnbringer, alerting her of so-called pretenders among her ranks. Those pretenders being the Black Dragonborn you had discovered mentioned in a note in Mortholm while it was under House Morthathax's control. That's where we left off. Shortly before you kind of pack up your things for the morning and begin to head off, unless anyone wishes to say or do anything before then, I'm going to bring you back to the campsite.
I think we're doing something, but I can't recall what.
Oh, we were having a whole discussion about doing a ritual, but then we sort of agreed, like, maybe not right now.
Yeah,
at least that's what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, we were wanting to discuss when to reach out and talk to Banzella.
Mabala. But yeah, I memory's a bit foggy, but I think the consensus was not right now or until we know more. If I'm correct?
You're correct.
Yeah, the big thing is probably wait until we're on the other side of the wall. I can talk to some of the priests more.
Okay. Right, my memory isn't terrible.
Turn up Atlas a bit.
Yeah, I've turned it up. Sorry, I had something to say and then my brain forgot it. Okay, once conversation is concluded, and since we're all still together, Willem will sort of take a moment to stand up. Looking groggy, but just like there's bags under his eyes. But definitely a lot more alive looking than the time before. I need to say something.
I sense so.
You all came for me, and it was your choice, and I know that. But either way, I owe all you so much. I was stuck there and long part thinking I could get away. I fully expected to die, whether or not what I tried worked or not. I was just ready for it. But with all of you taking the risk you did, paying the prices you did, I'm more than just grateful. I'm always bad at these things. If you all ever need anything, I won't hesitate. I'll be there. It's the least I can do. With that, he'll sort of sit back down.
It, wasn't that big of a deal. But I will take your offered help any time of the week.
Give a small smile and a nod back to Liska.
Yara was about to open her mouth and thinks for a moment. I'll accept your offer. I've learned quite a lot hanging out with all of you. It would be a shame if things ended too soon. So, likewise, if you need help or I need your help, just ask. Or better yet, don't even.
Either way, we should probably get our shit together. The more distance I put away from this place, the better.
Honestly, I'm ready to see some sun. This place is very draining.
Well, I have a couple of items that I found that I'm pretty sure are magical. So before we head out this morning, do you wish to identify? And she's gonna pull out let's see. She's gonna pull out a big old staff, the staff that Karalath was holding. She's gonna pull out 3 rings, and I think that's it for now. Oh, and she's gonna pull out 2 scrolls, because I think we already knew about the Wand of Magic Missiles, but 2 scrolls.
It was also the ink vial.
Oh yeah, and she pulls out a little vial of ink that's stoppered and places it down.
Sure, I'll identify all this.
I'll help. Helps us save down some time before we actually get out of here.
Okay, so you're identifying these between the both of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, then. Fair enough.
And I'll link things.
Yeah, there you go. So, Karalath Spire, +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls, and +1 bonus to your spell save DC. It's got 20 charges for spells for it. Can cast. There's a bunch of fucking spells that are missing from that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so there's Blight for 4 charges, Chill Touch at will, Create Undead for 6 charges, Animate Dead for 3 charges, Lifesteal, 4th level version for 4 charges, and Blood Drain, 1st level version for 1 charge.
It's a very nasty staff.
So you've got the Ring of Shielding, allows you to cast Shield 3 times per day. You've got the Ring of Acid Resistance. It gives you resistance for acid damage. That's requires
Ring of Acid Resistance. Yeah, it's pretty on the nose.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
You resist acid.
The Ring of Grim Command. Basically, gives you the ability, to enslave some sort of undead creature equal to half of your level, with a CR equal to half of your level. Needs to make a Charisma saving throw. If it succeeds, you take 2d6 necrotic damage as the ring's magic backfires on you. If it fails, the undead is enslaved and forced to obey your commands for the next 24 hours. However, you can only do this on one undead at any one time. And you can do that once per long rest.
Question. Can you then dispel said undead?
It doesn't
By
say...
commanding it to, you are released of your service.
Most undead, even undead summoned through other spells, don't allow for that, so probably not.
Yeah, it's based similarly upon those sorts of effects. Now, bearing in mind, any undead that has an intelligence level of 12 or higher can repeat the saving throw.
I think it's 8 or higher.
Sorry, if the target has
it has advantage, 12 or higher. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
You can repeat the saving throw. Let's see, Invisible Ink.
Jenner, I linked them so people can read them. We don't have to read through them.
All right, fair enough. So
we're 40 minutes in.
Basically, you all know what those items do now.
Right.
So you can feel free to discuss amongst yourselves who gets what.
I don't need any of these. Have at.
Might go for the Ring of Shielding.
I'll take this fire only just because I'd probably have someone take this. I don't want to use it honestly, but I might have an idea of someone who might want this.
I think it's a good idea if we just collect all the necromancy themed stuff so other necromancers in the world don't get it.
Yeah.
And if you're just going to take it in order to give it to somebody else, then perhaps I can just keep it in the bag, and then when you find that person, then you can take it.
Yeah,
Unless you want to
fine.
like carry it around and use it right now, that is fine.
No, she looks at her bag of holding. I have too much shit already as it is. You hold on to it, to be honest.
Okay.
This invisible ink, so that could be useful for my notebook. Though I would need some way to see the ink, unfortunately.
Well, from what you said, you would be able, as long as you designate it to yourself, you should be able to read it.
Liska, I'd like you just to make like an investigation check or intelligence, just a straight intelligence check. Oh,
Man,
actually,
here we go.
They're exactly the same, so yeah.
Actually, you know what? This could actually be an insight check for you.
Oh, okay, sure.
10.
Do you want another 4 to that? Because I can do that again.
No, that's... I don't know if that would help.
Only one way to find out.
Since Janner just said that, sure, I'll take 4.
You get 4.
I'll take it.
So, 14.
14.
Just so
Something.
happens the check was 11. Sorry,
So-
continue.
Something clicks in your mind as Dejar kind of as both Dejar and Salyun kind of describe the effects of this invisible ink, and you recall that blank leather-bound journal that you found in the large matte black hole where you found the phylactery.
You know, I seem to recall this blank leather-bound journal that I found in the same place as this phylactery. It was weird because it was just like, it looked like there were a lot of notes and stuff inserted to it, like, you know, someone who's a bit more of a nerd was like writing in it, but there was like nothing there, so I was thinking, like, would that be, and she's going to, if I can remember where it is. Oh, that's the egg we're not pulling out. Where did I fucking put this thing?
Should be in your loot.
Black leather-bound book. Yes. So let's go. Oh, that doesn't actually. Hold on. Let me link the info so y'all can read it. There we go. And she's gonna pull it out and just be like, hey, I don't know how you would
Okay.
see this. You said like you need like 2 sight or something. Like we see in 3D, so it's weird that you would need 2D, but like
No, it's. I know about a certain spell where you can see things as they are. It's called Through Sight.
oh yes, that is what they said.
Yeah, just.
Angus will raise up
shrugs.
his hand. Oh, I have that one.
Oh, would you be so kind to look over this book then, please?
Well, let's do it on the road at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Oh wait, but no, you'll be driving the tank.
He's kind of gonna shrug a little bit at that. I mean, it's something that would take a minute. We could do it if we want to see it right now. That or little old Scaly over here do it.
Okay.
I mean, if sure.
I don't have that spells prepared. I have other spells prepared. If you have that type of spell prepared, you can do it for me.
I could.
Would you be so kind?
Well, it's the dawn. We haven't set off yet, so I could easily prepare that spell.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, sure, I'll allow it.
What a...
I mean, what we haven't done anything, didn't we? Just get up.
You got up. You read the journal. You did a few other things as well during the morning, while you've been having while you've been having breakfast and sort of packing up your things for the meantime. So
usually spell prep is hand waved, but
Yeah.
since this is still in the morning, like Dejar could potentially have prepared True Seeing, but
does Dejar actually have True Sight in her book? That's the thing.
No, he does not.
Ah,
He heard of it, but he didn't have it.
then you
I
couldn't
guess
prepare it at
that's
all.
That brain is mush.
although you can, but if I recall, you can imbue someone else with True Seeing with that spell as well. Doesn't have to be self.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
there we
pretty
go.
Sure.
Angus can drive and Dejar can nerd.
Yeah, that works.
Probably shared, but okay. That'll definitely work.
Something to talk about at dinner, because a book is a big thing to read.
We have several
Well, you'd
books
only
to
last
read.
an hour.
Get rid
all I need.
get reading on the road.
Yep. Get see if you
So
can
that's
get
a
rapidly.
slap on the ass.
Yep.
Right before we set off, we're like, all right, make the most of your time once you're all set up and ready to go.
Yep. And Dejar,
Not
you begin
burn any
you
minutes.
begin prepping your notes and sort of parchment and inkwells just to sort of start rapidly taking notes. So on that note, I'm guessing you're all sort of heading off onto the road now.
Yep.
All right then.
Unless there's anything that we need to do, any loot that anybody wants to divvy.
Nope.
All
Anything
right.
I can do is something that'll be done on the road.
So Sal wanted the ring of shielding.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
because not only will it save my ass a couple of times in the future, it'll also let me not spend my spell slots on goddamn shield.
True.
I'll take the inkwell and the scrolls. It always use scrolls.
Those are useful.
Do you want anything from me?
Then what do you have? Like,
I
What
have
do
a
you have
dust
there?
blade.
that is a longsword?
Yeah, it's essentially just a sun blade except the inverse.
Yeah, no. It's good. Can't see in the dark, so no.
I would like that, but I would need to be trained for something like that.
Would you like a potion of necrotic resistance in return?
Sure. Why not?
It never hurt to be more tanky.
So all that is cool. I shall request trade with the spice of wax. Okay, you wanted the ink and the spell scrolls, right? Oh, I had another one apparently that I was chilling and holding. So here, have cost fear.
Noise. Let's see. There was something I wanted to give you, but I can't quite remember. I'll think about
I'll
it.
always take healing potions if you have extra.
Ooh, I do. You know what? Pick 2. Shit. My thing is freaking out, so give me a second.
It's alright.
Road again.
Tell you what, just accept and put your potions in the party loot. I'll get them
Mhm.
there.
Okay, sure.
There you go. Multiple ways to trade. Okay, so the first thing you notice, Dashar, when you open up this journal, everything appears to be written in Draconic.
Bench.
So you could cast Comprehend Languages on yourself.
That's what I was gonna do. As soon as she sees the language, like fan glass.
Like nobody considered that Draconic would be written in Draconic, considering it's.
Well, I considered it, but Lizka did. Like, I was just like, this is probably written in Draconic. Lizka knows Draconic, but she's not going to be the person who's like, oh yeah, cast Through Sight on me, I'll be able to read it.
Mumbling to herself, just you cast comprehend languages.
15 minutes.
One of these days, I'm going to learn this blasted language.
Alright, so you cast very
Raven
quick.
did say something important. It's not very quick. If you do ritual casting, it takes at least 10 minutes plus.
Yeah. So
You
that's going to leave you
Bear
with
that in mind.
about 50 minutes of True
Yeah.
Sight.
50 or less.
You know what? I can burn one of my thoughts to do it.
So your eyes shift to the visible spectrum of magic, and it's almost like detect magic, but you're seeing far more than you would originally see. You can almost see like straight through the caravan itself. Everything takes on this sort of ethereal tinge as well. You can see the wisps of necrotic energy flowing through the air outside, and as you look down to the pages, you cast Comprehend Languages on yourself. The words seem to sort of shift and merge and begin to make sense, and you can see that this old weather tome. It's seen much use over many decades, and it's flowing with these pinned fragments of notes, extended pages which fold out into larger pages, and small pressed samples of herbs. And indeed, the way it is constructed would indicate some sort of journal and spellbook. You can see a number of different strange, macabre drawings of opened up chest cavities, what looks like the various applications of soul stones, as well as a number of spells listed within.
Oh boy.
So make a note of these. Toll the Dead, Ray of
Yeah.
Frost. Oh, okay.
Head.
In fact, there we go.
Okay. Thank God.
Jesus.
Toll the Dead, Ray of Frost, Ashes Splash, Chill Touch, Charm Person, Magic Missile, Shield, Earth Tremor, Mirror Image, Greater Invisibility, Blight, Dimension Door, Scrying, Dominate Person, Circle of Death, Symbol, Clone, Leeching Curse, and Gate.
Hot diggity damn. That's ooh. Yeah, I'm.
Particularly when it comes to some of the more advanced looking spells, you're having a difficult time trying to decipher the various runic inscriptions and all the various magical language that goes into the weaving of a spell, the noting of a spell in a spell book. The runes themselves, especially on this clone spell, almost seem to sort of fractally spiral in on themselves. And there are numerous grim-looking sketches of experiments gone wrong with this spell, until eventually it's been refined over many decades. Indeed, you wouldn't have time to actually copy these into your spellbook, and as you kind of flick through the journal, there's a number of journal entries here that are going to take a number of days to decipher.
Okay, he's just gonna quickly write down notes about the spell listings in certain pages and the journal entries on certain pages, and to note when's to come back to read those with Angus's help.
I will send you the notes of what you managed to copy down in that span of time after the game.
Okay.
Okay. So, back on the road. The last leg of your journey towards, I presume, the southern Ironsgate Wall. Grunker, from what you recall of the map, you're at the southernmost, southeasternmost tip of the Blighted Swamps, and directly south of you, for about 2 days' worth of travel, is the main route that goes directly to the wall. However, because of the 25 or so people that are with you that are unable to fit on or in either the steam hammer or the wagon, it's going to be a walking pace. It's it would, from what you can gather, Grunker, it will give you about 5 days worth of travel before you can get to the wall. Yeah, I think he's muted, but okay.
I think he's also away.
Oh shit. Oh no.
You done goofed.
Amazing.
Well,
Well, while we wait for him to get back, question. Just on the order of operations, are we, obviously we're glossing over travel time, but are we doing like the fight chunks in one go?
it's
And
not
then just like we can speak up about roleplay opportunities we want to.
yeah.
leave it in that time?
If you like, whenever you're doing roleplay, I will assume that it's probably at camp, and I can just switch over to the camp page.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we want to. There were a couple of things I wanted to do over the
Oh
course of
fuck! Sorry, I was muted.
There we go.
Yes, you were.
Okay, good. You
Sorry,
were
I've
here.
been, yeah, I've been here the whole time. I forgot I was muted.
Is there anything important
sorry.
you wanted to get out?
But yeah, with the whole travel thing, I just kind of like relay that to everybody, if
Okay.
anyone's interested.
Okay. Well, if I may take the narrative reins a moment. Over the course of the next few days, Bellum does continue to have nightmares, but not as explosively disastrous as the first night. It sort of like decreases with each night. But during one of the mornings, he will seek out Liska.
Okay, so let me go ahead and.
Presumably she's doing her morning drills, Avon?
Probably.
Liska, you got a sec?
Yeah, of course. She just kind of like pause in the very fluid rope motions and just kind of turn to him. What can I do for you?
Well, clear up some confusion, I guess. Because a lot of what happened is still kind of a blur. But I'm picking bits and pieces out of my memory as we go on, and I think when you lot rescued me, I remember you saying some very specific words. Kind of a little odd to me. It was, I think you called me little brother. Is that a torment thing, or am I remembering things wrong? It's all kind of a mess.
So at hearing that, her face goes from like friendly and open to just like stone-faced immediately. And she will just kind of stare at him for a second with like a very harsh intensity, and she will respond, "You are not my brother. If I said such things, it was in the heat of the moment. I would not look into it."
Shit, and I've hit a nerve. Sorry, this guy. Didn't know if it was some cultural thing or if I was remembering wrong. I can drop it.
We are within Torment. We have groups. Those of us that were born at the same time, that are raised together. But every so often we do have those of blood relations. If I said that, there was nothing meant by it. I considered you a close friend, much like I would, and perhaps a brother like I would with those who fought alongside me in Torment. But you are not my brother. And she's saying this in... Can you roll an insight check? I'm sorry for asking if you can do this.
If I need to do a roll, fucking say so. I encourage that. Because I'm not going to know everything just because you tell me. It's
Roleplay.
people try to hide things. Unfortunately, Valimir is a very perceptive individual.
No, that's fine. When I said that when she rescued me, I did it for a reason. She's speaking in common, or sorry, trade tongue. She's speaking in trade tongue, and you get a sense that if she were speaking demonic, brother would have a different meaning.
Oh.
So when she says, I view you as my brother, but you are not my brother. Like if she were speaking in demonic, it would have a different meaning.
Yeah, different meanings for the same word.
Yeah.
It's a different word for intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just sort of... Definitely being very tentative about how he chooses his words, considering Liska doesn't get like this very often. Right, I figured it was something like that. Just still trying to come to terms with a lot of what happened, and I remember just there being a lot of blood. So
There was.
it gets hard. The details, you know.
I am glad that we were able to get you, villain. I would, much like those within Torment, I would die for you. And hopefully you would do the same. You would view me as the same kind of family as I do you.
Obviously, I'm the same way, especially after what you done. Guess I don't really think about family that often to tie that to what we've ended up being. Either way, I'm sorry if caused you any. And then he'll just sort of. There's a moment you can. It's very. He's not very good at hiding his expressions or mindset as he is at the moment. So there's definitely that sense that he's trying to find the correct word to not stick his foot in his mouth again. Trouble.
She just shakes her head, waves a hand dismissively. He's like, "You are not in trouble." Like,
Alright, I'll let you get back to what you were doing. I'm probably gonna be a little off for a while.
I mean, given what you went through, I can understand why. But if you have anything you wish to talk about, or if you are worried about what dreams may come as you sleep, know that I will be sitting beside you, protecting you in that case.
I noticed, and that's helped a lot. Thank you, Liska. Sorry about waking up so loudly.
Again, we cannot control the dreams that we have. Sometimes they come to us because the spirits wish us to dwell on something. Sometimes they come to us on a whim. It is up to you to decide the outcome.
Well, apparently the spirits want me to suffer because it's the same kind of thing every night. Just
Maybe-
hurt and darkness, pain.
Liska kind of lifts up her sword and just kind of is kind of turning it back and forth to kind of examine it. Maybe they are wanting you to hone yourself. And she's like kind of swings. It's like repetition. She swings again. Can learn and teach you how to be stronger. Perhaps they wish you to become stronger. Is it as bad this night as it was the night before?
Well, I guess not. I just don't know what I can really learn from just having a psycho bitch on me every time.
I am not the smart one, but it seems that they just wish you to learn to be stronger and learn to resist. That seems to be what is happening, no?
Yeah, and give yourself more credit. You make a lot of sense for somebody who says she's not that smart.
Yeah, I've just lived long enough to know things.
Well, hopefully I'll live long enough to know just as much.
Hopefully. And at that, Liska kind of looks at Vellum, and there's just kind of a sad look in her eyes of just like a long-lived race befriending a very short-lived race. And then she kind of like gives him a nod. Is there anything else that you wish to talk about?
Not for now. I may come back to you at some point, but for now I just need to get used to what passes for normal around here.
Yeah. If you want to try to get your mind off of it, you're always welcome to join me.
I think I will when I'm a little more fit for it.
Understood.
That's at
Eat
this
a
point.
few
you
more
sort
of
of-
Angus's breakfasts, and that probably will happen sooner than later.
No, it's open. And you do notice he's sort of not like limping or favoring anything massively, but with certain movements as he's like turning and conversing, just hand movements and all that. There's definitely a lot of hesitance in certain movements. And it's obvious enough that, where certain wounds are, he's favouring them a little bit still, even though they might be healed, at least to the point where it's not an issue. And with that, he'll skedoodle.
Alright.
Alright. So, back on the road.
God, my feels.
Oof. I live for this shit as a DM.
Yeah, there was that moment of just like, as a player, I want to press for more information, but as a character, that would be insensitive. Oh, why you gotta make me sad? Sorry. No, Angela Lansbury recently died. That's making me sad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, thankfully, you've weathered the worst that the Morbog has to offer, and especially with the extra manpower that you now have with you, makes short work of any of most of the common denizens of the Morbog, skeletons, zombies, the recently risen dead, and you've already cleared out most of the dangerous threats that inhabit this area of the swamps. And so, for the sake of not having to roll for each day on the road, and from the fact that you managed to defeat one of the Morbog's most dangerous threats, we're only going to roll one last time for a sorrow for the rest of these 5 days.
Oh boy.
alright.
This is gonna be
What
fun.
could go wrong?
That was wisdom, right? Oh, okay.
Crit.
Jesus
What
Christ.
what can go wrong,
I'm
Nero?
fucked.
Vellum is so
No.
distracted from his trauma that he doesn't notice the new trauma around him.
Once again, Liska, by her chance, managed to pull off.
I love it when the dice come into play with the story.
It's like, I have seen some shit. This is nothing now.
Well,
I got something for this.
Doc is just gonna be in terrible shape.
Of course not.
I like how Caravan and Steamhammer have to roll too.
Yeah, I don't. You know, fuck it.
Oh no, our sad caravan.
Do we have anything to help Rinka? Because
Unless he has inspiration.
Sad.
It's fine. We got people who can get rid of that.
You do now.
Is anyone seeing stuff on the screen?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
I am. Oh god, this is hitting a little bit too close.
Big oof. The whispers.
Okay, so Grunker,
Sad.
you are feeling drained.
Oh no. Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of fits.
Yep. Let's see here. What does that do?
Reduced movement
Range.
speed and less max health, I think, because yeah, I was quite drained after the mod attack business.
That's not very nice.
It sure is, especially for a health tank like you.
Let's see, Dejar.
I can't actually see what it does, but I'll
Oh,
trust
it should be in your passive features.
you. It's under effects, but I can't actually.
There
look
should be
at
one in features as well. There's two of them.
Yeah,
One in features, one in
it's
effects.
it's the passive thing that grants you the one in the effects.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's not that bad. Especially since. Oh, I hope.
So, Dejar,
I hope.
you are starting to feel weakness overcome your body.
Great.
It's almost like you recently almost died.
3
3
times.
times.
Again, that fits very well with what's happened.
Stoneway Camp. I think I got something.
So, just one last thing. The first 2 days of trudging through this acrid swampland of the forest, kind of steering clear of the black brackish water under the guidance of you, Grunker, and Severe, pushing away many dead branches, weaving around these sort of labyrinthine root systems. It's easier to follow the route you came through, thanks to and thanks to Jajar's mold earthing a couple of days prior. No tracks have been left in your wake. Nothing to track you down with. And Grunker's ability not to get lost. The massive 100 to 150 foot tall tangles of trees fight for what little light there is, making it difficult for most eyes to see beyond the headlamps of the steam hammer and the sort of unnatural greenish brown glow of the acrid water. The pale grey skies above is almost sort of choked out. Occasionally you'll need to stop as a figure, slick with blackened tar like a coat of necrosis, seems to have sloughed out the bog into your current path where it wasn't there before a few days earlier. But not moving, but congealed into some sort of sickly rotting cocoon. You've seen these sights before, and with just a few slashes of Liska's powerful blade, the way is cleared, and you're able to move on.
Fuck you, Spook, unless we have weapons.
Hey,
Squidward.
The girl we wanted to have a talk with, but on the road, not at camp.
Okay.
The guy
He ain't going anywhere, he's driving, so...
the guy just has this almost far look of glaze of just gazing out, and she's not turned to facing them, just as she speaks. Vellum?
What, yeah, what do you need, Jean?
The tenants of our safe. How would one of the followers of Alsham look upon a murderer?
Fuck, Jean, that's a heavy question. I guess it depends on the context. These things are never simple, from what I remember from teachings. We got our tenets, but I suppose we see what happens and decide with that.
Well,
I mean, if you remember before, and then there's like a sort of uncomfortably long pause as his demeanor just sort of not softens, but like sort of slumps a little bit before Mortifex. There was that business with the Banshee. See, I approached that probably weirdly to you lot, and I could have just alleviated suffering, as the tenant says, and just dispatched it. But then I decided to go with our other tenet of mercy and compassion, and took a chance. Our tenets are less rigid rules and more like guides, I always figured. Guides on how to be a decent person and hopefully be a good person at the same time.
Jar has failed twice in that regard. He's seeking redemption for the 2 times she's caused suffering And just goes quiet for a second. I wasn't compassionate. Another very pregnant pause. Just looks down at her hands. I killed them. Even if it was just an order, I killed them.
Alright, Char. You're gonna need to start from the beginning with that. I don't have the benefit of your experience. And
Be very
like I said, context is a lot of what this is.
just before you came to the Spire. I filled my role as a court wizard to rat out spies and supporters of the handyman. Hardest part is you don't know who will turn or who is innocent. So to not let any get away, to cast a wider net, as it were, we grouped them all together, and I'd rather not say how we did it, but yes.
So instead of taking the chance, you just off to group it at a time.
Yes.
And what led you to believe that that any of those people were working with the ending?
It's the thing. Didn't know. I didn't think to question it. I just did as I was told. That doesn't excuse me for what I did. There's no excuse for it.
Well,
But
I
right
can't
now-
say I approve, obviously, and that definitely doesn't sound like the Jar right now, considering how much thought you put into everything else. I'd obviously, even if you sat here all day telling me the story, I wouldn't have all the information, but I will say, by merit of your guilt and how you feel right now, I feel like that will earn you at least some credence. But it's not my place to offer the kind of redemption that you're looking for. Your best bet may be just to speak with our holy brothers at the wall. I'm sure they got something there like they did before. I can give you my thoughts and opinions all day, but as you know, I'm a little bit unorthodox, so I can't speak for the whole faith. But as long as you strive to improve yourself, to be better than you were, to never make the mistakes you've made, then, well, I'd like to think that all should still be accepted. He'll give a bit of a light, low energy shrug. At least that's how I see it.
So,
Taylor, your fan.
yeah. He was quiet for a long while. I did do some good. At least I hope I did. Especially with the hunter's test, I survived. But I gave up quite a lot to get to where I am right now. And for the record, the Zahari you know now is a lot better than the one you met at Cliffspire. He was cold and not that's what he said. He was too honed on something.
Well, I should hope that you're better, because, well, that's all we can be. Better than we were, or we keep suffering for our past. Well, better than you were, and in time I do think that you'll do enough good to balance the wrong you done. Just gotta keep at it.
That's true.
A distant shriek tears through the skies above you, and immediately many scouts dart for cover.
Fuck off!
Sayun, you're the first to notice it. Through a rare few gaps in the skeletal canopy above, there's a winged black shadow soaring through the air.
Oh no!
And with your passive perception, it looks not too dissimilar to the creature that was at the beck and call of Warden Kallax. You even see a rider on top of it, and it appears to be travelling eastward. Doesn't look like it's seen you, especially not beneath.
It's not doing a very good job.
Sao will alert everybody first via earring so the party can get to work. And she'll say something akin to large shadowy figure above flying eastward. And then she'd quietly call out to everybody else, "Stay quiet, it hasn't seen us yet."
You see it circling overhead for a moment. And it continues travelling eastward. Grunka, from what you know of the map, eastward is where the mountains are.
I don't like that. Maybe they got nests.
No sir, I don't like it.
Those of you curious, make an insight check. Now that Sayun has pointed this out.
If it's trying to flee, we could murder it. If it's trying to find us, it's not.
I'm gonna do an insight check, just because Sao noticed it and now she's curious, so... It is one of the few skills I don't have proficiency in. Says
Oh,
I
yeah.
am.
Welcome to the 20 squad.
What is it with skills that I'm either really, really narrowed in, or just not proficient, just be like, here, have a quick roll.
I mean, you did better than the Jar did.
Doc is just fucked.
Very, very apt.
Velum and Sayun, the way it flaps its wings is almost staggered and panicky. That looks like it's fleeing.
does it look like it's fleeing in the form that it's running from something, or that it was basically just one of the rats that bailed on the sinking ship?
With your 21 just breaking over that DC at this distance, especially kind of looking through the thick canopy of trees, it's probably the latter.
Okay, so a deserting sinking ship. Vellum will very hesitantly go on the earring, considering, this is just a stark reminder of the past. He will direct it mainly at Sao, who he knows to have the better perception. Do you think it's worth trying to shoot it down? It looks like it's just trying to escape instead of come after us or anything.
Risk it. As much as I would like to deal with it, you're right. It's fleeing.
You're smart. Do you think it'll be a problem later if we leave it?
I am unsure, actually. And she'll voice the opinion to Liska.
You can get her on the three-way.
Liska, it seems the creature is fleeing. Should we try and deal with it, or...
Can we?
You
It flies faster than I can, and it is approaching a range which maybe even you might not be able to hit it.
so
True.
some of you do recall, you did manage to kill one of these, because supposedly there were 3 of these dragon lances in House Mortithax. You killed one of them, being Warden Calax. The second one was engulfed by the ghostly host of Morthholm. This appears to be the third one, who is fleeing.
And longbows have a pretty big range, and a lot of the boys here have longbows, I think.
It's about it is above the massive kind of the treetops. It's about 150 feet from your current position, and it's currently moving away from your position. You could try to risk firing through the canopy.
Vellum will sort of immediately chime in with just a simple question. Is it a risk to us if we let it leave Liska?
Not to us. But there are many other people on the other side of that mountain that it will likely be a risk to. If our ranged think that they can hit it, then go for it. It's
Jenner.
very swiftly getting away.
The scouts and whatnot. How many of them would have ranged weapons?
Ranged weapons with a range long enough to. Let's see, longbow.
I mean, any longbow would likely be
Yeah.
able to have that range. It's if they have short bows or not, that's the problem. But I don't know how many of them are just melee boys, and how many. Of them
From what you can gather, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about half of them. So about half of 25. We'll just say it's about 12 or so scouts have the longbow.
Liska's going to hold up her hand and be like, wait, it is no use. Remember, in combat, only when daylight has fallen upon it is it even able to be hurt. This is not daylight. And she kind of motions around to where they are. Anything that we shoot at it would just travel right through it.
Oh shit, she's right.
Well, let's just hope
It's
not.
pointless.
Right, that's fair. Let's just hope it's not going to be coming to bite anyone later.
That's why I'm glad she's on our side. Also, the 10 to 15 feet tall thing too.
I have my moments.
Yeah. Remembering how to kill and how not to die is pretty useful too, I guess. It's very tongue-in-cheek in the way he says it.
Right. Well, I think it's almost out of sight anyway.
Just a question. We said it's over the mountains, right? Like,
It's-
is that
It looks like it's
that's where it's heading?
yeah, it looks like it's headed towards the mountains towards the east.
Okay, so towards the gate, towards
Not towards the gate. The
Probably going to take a chance to fly over the mountain and
let's see,
escape because
the
it's
Garen's
probably
Ridge
there.
Mountains. That would be. Oh no,
Have we been anywhere on the other side of where it's going?
you have not. No.
Okay, we never know. So I say if we can send a message for someone to look out, but if it's heading in a direction we've never been, then never mind.
Yeah, the only hope is
I think-
if
I
we
think,
relay it through.
I think Granka would know what's on the other side of the mountains there.
Yeah, probably.
You'd still
I
need
like-
to do a sending spell, though.
You see
And you need
maps.
to know the target.
Yeah, I mean, I have a globe, but it's not like detailed.
These
or
mountains?
anything.
Yep, those mountains.
Oh, those ones. I'm mixing up east and west again.
Don't worry, it happens all the
Wait.
time. You're just holding your map upside down.
Mysterious. Oh, we have a lot of mysterious hut sightings. All right.
So you are currently
Interesting.
here.
Very mysterious. Yeah. Let's see. What mountains? What mountains are you talking about? On the other side or what? Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Well, I mean, over there's like fucking Ragnarok, isn't there?
Yeah,
No, no,
it's
that
south.
way.
And that's even
It's a
more
little
to
bit
the south, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little
That's
bit
heading
south.
towards the whip of fire first. Or is it the chain of fire? I think it's the whip
yeah.
of fire,
The whip of fire.
The whip of fire. Yeah.
which is at about like a 5 to 4 o'clock position from this little island, right? It's down over there, and
Yeah.
that is significant. That is not a day flight. That is, that is months of sailing, right? It's not going to be able to fly like that. It's not a
Large
fucking
flight.
seagull.
Well,
Yeah.
it may swoosh. It may just sort of pass the mountains and then swoosh north.
Yeah.
Because its goal is probably to
well.
avoid the heavily fortified wall, and this being the thinnest part of the defenses. They got patrols going through there, but still the thinnest in terms of security.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
One could get around. There's literally nothing that we could do to stop it right now.
Yeah, I mean, even if we did take a pot shot at it, if it even stuck around long enough to get a consistent amount of hits, wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it
Wait.
wouldn't even matter because it's essentially incorporeal, as Liska has said.
Yeah, and it could very
cannot
easily
be
just
damaged.
ignore us and keep going.
Vellum, you gather. It's probably trying to get the fuck out of the Morbog. It's probably heard the news, or at least the rider has probably heard the news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But
we
you
got
know who
one.
not incorporeal right now? That rider.
Oh, the Dragonlance, yeah.
And we should try and, with 13,
Saoyun
14 shots, can we
He is
take
quite
that
practiced at shooting things in the back of the head.
Yeah, sniper.
I mean, we could
Might
just
as well
take
just start calling her
take a fucking
commissar
flurry
right
of
now.
shots at it. Like 14 shots might hit one.
Might knock him off.
Okay.
We still
I'm
have the
tempted
chain.
to take the gamble,
The
but
chain
at the same
harpoon.
time,
Yeah.
God, I really do. I really want to just try and chance it. Because even if we miss, he might just be like, oh god, and leave anyway.
We might battle
I
him.
don't think the length is enough. But it would be funny if I shot that chain
Shut
harpoon
the
at it
chain.
and just impaled
Just
him
yoink.
and ripped him off to the ground.
Alright, let's do this an easy way. Jenner, can you get the I'm back thing and let's take a vote?
Alright then.
I'm back if you do want to take a shot. Leave it blank if you don't.
I'm just gonna let him go because
don't see a point in it, honestly.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
That's
think he's
fair.
gonna bother anyone, except maybe a lot of people.
Except maybe a lot of people.
Maybe a lot of people.
And
He's not gonna bother anyone except innocent people.
Putting it that way.
That's going straight back into mainland, which technically is our turf.
Ah, shit, that is true. Fuck.
Hey, what's
So-
the range of my turret again?
Your turret range, so your cannon fire, is 120 feet.
Oh,
so, question.
150.
So, this is just the player posing something. I would argue that a rider-controlled, whatever the heck this thing is less a threat to citizenry than one that is on the loose by itself.
Agree.
I'm more
Either
worried about
way.
the deviousness that
Maybe
one
in terms,
Dragon Lancer can
yeah,
get up to.
if he's got a message and he's trying to answer to somebody else, you know,
Yeah, see,
Well, the
Shooting
inside
the
role said that
messenger
he was
bird out
trying
of
to
the
just
air.
GTFO.
Yeah, he's just trying
I
to
mean,
GTFO.
but
but
we
it could
don't
just
know
be
for
a-
sure
could
that
also
he
be a
doesn't have
case that-
anywhere else.
They
Right.
also might have a lot of necromancy capability.
Well,
I don't know if they're like pure warriors or not, or if they have some.
we don't really
ranges.
know. That's the
That's
thing.
the
This
exactly
person
that's
is-
the worrying part.
This person is incredibly capable of something, and if nothing else, it's capable of having information and passing it on to somebody else, and making our life harder down the line.
Yeah, that is my thinking. That was my original thought. It's like it could be a problem for us, if not other people.
Later on,
oh,
I mean, they'll have to hug the coast either way, and the coastline either way is covered by the walls, so we just have to send messages to the walls.
I do have
Well,
one
the-
last Cindy message.
the water's
message to send.
sanctified, so I don't think they'd be able to fly over the ocean very easily either.
Is the ocean
Not with that
sanctified?
time of this. Yeah, they bless it.
Man, that took a lot
They
of work.
bless the waters.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know how,
not
but
the
they do.
not the entire waters, more like just the shoreline. From what you heard when you first met Selma.
Can you still fly over sanctified waters and be fine?
Well, I mean, you're not going through them, are you?
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I think they could just fly onto the ocean and then circumvent the wall.
You fly over the ocean.
From what
Yeah.
you gather,
Yeah, we should
Fly under it, I'd be
the
impressed.
sanctified shorelines are probably just there to stop the undead from doing a Pirates of the Caribbean and walking on the bottom of the water there.
Yeah, very important. Don't think it'll affect our roll.
We have as a player, really hard. I don't think there's going to be any trouble, though. I'm too worried about him if he does have a sending message.
As a player,
Well,
I'm
there's-
worried about how badly just existing can mess with us later. As a character, Vellum is paranoid as fuck about anything.
The rider is on the move, by the way. He's We're gonna have to make a decision
let's-
quickly.
Yeah, that's why I
Let's
put the
kill
quote
it.
up, but it seems like it's
You know what? Fuck it. Yes.
Let's see if we can kill the rider. He has high AC. It's going to be a disadvantage given where they are, but fuck it.
we've got 14 shots.
Yeah, we also have Salyun, which is remarkably capable. She's made hundreds and hundreds of feet shots before.
And now she's
Let's
got a
see.
cantrip. It might actually do a lot of enough damage to be like, fuck you, get off,
Problem
get on the ground.
Look, the problem with the cantrip is I only have it out to 120 feet. I would need Spell Sniper to get to like 240.
What is the distance?
All
Say
right.
if we took this shot immediately, Jenna, what's the distance?
The distance is 150 feet.
I do have a short bow and a crossbow.
And your actual gun.
And my actual gun, but the gun makes a lot of fucking noise.
Like it matters right
We
now,
don't
dude.
care.
Yeah, we got like a whole retinue of people. If we get some extra skelly boys, then, you know...
I make a bunch of noise. Janner plays the toot sound.
You know,
To the
fuck it.
boys.
I'm gonna use a mithril bullet for this, so I
Thank
There we
you.
go.
might as well use a mithril bullet for it.
Right, okay, so what I'm going to do... There we
How
go.
far away was he?
150.
Target's there, but we'll say 150 feet.
Sadly, I cannot participate in the blind fire.
You know, if any of those fail, I do have one spell that could probably fuck him over.
Yeah, do remember that if you have a spell that can fuck them up and it has that kind of range, by all means.
Oh, it does. I cannot miss with the spell.
Is it magic?
Remember, we're targeting the rider.
Yes.
Oh, I
so
know.
the scouts with 2 attacks each. So 12. So that's 24 longbow shots.
Like I said, man, the AC doesn't mean a lot if you have the numbers to pelt them.
Right. So as
We are
as
at disadvantage though.
they,
Actually, wait. First. Sorry, continue.
I think it would be
150,
more.
So he would just be within range of the first volley, not being a disadvantage.
Yeah. Let's see, I think it would be get half cover from the canopy, but they wouldn't have disadvantage. See how that goes.
Yeah, as we sort of come to this consensus. Let's go give the order. Don't want to take the risk.
All
Because
right.
they're all hiding right now, so
Yeah.
they need to be made aware that they're shooting them.
Yeah, Liska quickly barks out like, you know, military drill sergeant, like, get within ranks, archery line, your target is the rider on top, fire at will.
And
His name is Will.
come on, mob attack.
Come on, crits.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I do have a few questions here, because I just realized I could stack a bunch of modifiers in my favor.
Do what you... Actually,
You only have the
Last
small
is over.
window is the thing, so whatever you do, make it count.
yep. I'm just waiting for all the shots to be...
Yeah, I'm waiting for the
Done.
bulk rolls to go through. Crit
feel like-
included, okay?
It just rolled all of them at once.
Wow.
They each got 66.
Were those hits?
Wait, hold on.
You just rolled the damage.
Yeah, I just rolled. Wait, hang on.
You just did the damage, I think. So.
There we
Okay,
go.
there you go.
wow.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
they all
okay,
go
never
extremely
mind.
High. Holy shit.
Wow.
Shit!
We
How did you
Wow.
not get captured again?
Holy shit.
That is amazing.
you got your crit there.
Holy
Save
hell.
it.
You know, we should have. Only like 3 people.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not
there you go.
two.
There's your grand fuck you.
With,
Alright,
with
Yeah,
the,
you
that-
second, the
spray.
second there was a notion of shooting a dragon lance, everyone was like, "Fucking have him!"
yeah,
Wait,
with,
okay,
with
hold on. I have one question.
it's coming
Yeah.
for us.
Check.
No, it's
What is the AC
playing
of the
idiot.
Dragonlance?
the AC of the Dragonlance is 23.
Okay, so they each have a +5 to hit. I don't think they would be hitting. Most of
No.
those would be hitting.
Yeah, it's a
hovering
nice
over-
thought, but a good
Yeah,
chunk
I'm
of it though.
Yeah, hovering over the 10, and it says just a +5 to hit. So
Mm-hmm.
18 and above would hit if his armor class is a 23. Or what do you say? 20?
So 23.
Okay, so yeah, 18s and above would hit.
Okay.
Still a decent amount, just not as many as we thought.
It's a little amazing how they... How,
9 still hit on the first attack.
All right.
I mean, they're good at what they do.
So so there's 12 of them,
Modifier now?
2 attacks each. So that's all 24 of those is taken into account the 2 attacks. Let's see. So how many did you say hit?
Just count the first row of damage and save yourself rolling again.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10.
I'm
Okay.
definitely not saying that.
10 with a crit.
10,
Definitely not saying that just because there's an extra. There's a couple of 8s in there. Nope.
10d6 plus stuff up. Yeah. What's the dexterity on that? So 10 times 3, 30. Just to make sure I got this. No, that's 1d8, not 1d6. 8 plus 30. 87 damage for the first volley.
Alright, that's still good. Should I shoot now?
Oh, I think go for it.
If you're still alive, sure.
Hang on, what 100? No. 87. So then just
Oh, of course it misses.
Hey, if you got inspiration.
87.
You know what? I still have an inspiration. You can use it, Ducky.
So I just re-roll.
Yep, with inspiration.
Yes.
Oh, it paused, so I thought maybe there was a reaction.
Okay, at this point, Tajara's going to just get up from her seat and cast a 5th level spell. Fucking what's the name of it? Sonic Boom.
What's the range on that?
Yeah, what's the range?
150.
Exactly 150. Okay then.
Oh, also, I
Yeah.
forgot to do this. That's game thread effect. Would have done that in the mornings. Forgot to toggle it.
But
We're
yeah,
for 8 hours.
let me actually hold on.
Oh, you know, the
one second.
usual time, not the morning, sorry. Usually do
So
it around
this is-
lunch.
Okay, con save.
Yep.
Fail. Damn it.
Nope.
You bitch.
So it only takes
Let me roll the damage here.
because he cast it 5th level. Well, Sonic Boom 24.
Yeah, it's certainly feeling it.
Oh yeah,
I would.
you can see the rider seems to waver for a moment as it's soaring overhead, and immediately turns back to this small dark gap in the in the clearing of the canopy to see this volley of arrows, and immediately followed by this sonic wave of electricity.
If you're gonna do it again, die, bitch.
So is that an action?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you
so-
get out of range at that
Much
point.
further away.
Yeah. So he
Just out of your range, sadly.
and at that he's going to let's see, fly 60. Yeah. So he's now
210.
yeah 210.
I am
Two-
going to keep
210
firing because as long as he's within 320 of me, I can hit him.
All right.
Is he out of range of all of our boys before we do that?
Nope, it's just disadvantage now. So
I
it's gonna be
don't-
a whole lot harder for them to hit.
I don't think the mob attack would. I don't think it handles disadvantage, so I'm just going to have to roll manually. Let's see. Nope.
Look, you never know.
You know what?
Somebody
I'm
may.
gonna-
Oh, no.
Oh wait, hang
Somebody
on.
may get a
That's-
crit, like a
that's,
double crit.
That's against the gloom. That's against the gloom beast. So
Targeting the fucking rider.
yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna take out my like crossbow since it has 320 foot range.
Oh, somebody double crit, yes! Give that man a
no,
medal.
that wasn't a disadvantage.
Oh, that was a regular fuck.
Oh fuck's sake! I'm holding control.
Oh,
It's fine, it just stopped working out for a second.
Yeah, you're clicking
Okay.
too fast.
That's a big sage. Got my hopes up and everything. How dare you.
Why is that?
It's fine, just.
and here we go.
Well, there we
Yes.
go.
Oh shit!
Double 18. Alright.
Going to fire now because I'm using mithril bullets. I gotta use them someday, so this is a perfect testing ground. I don't have disadvantage on long range.
Good old shot.
Miserables.
Really?
You know what? Have my inspiration. probably gonna get fucked, Lynn, for not having it. There we go.
But I'm gonna try firing one more time at this bitch.
Vellum sees Sao sort of freaking out, not freaking out, but like getting annoyed at the first shot, just like breathe. Then
There
bam.
you go.
Oh man, another crit that probably is gonna disappear.
God damn
Yep.
it.
No,
It's
it's-
okay. Just roll another one, and
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
be
let's
what
try
the
again.
actual roll. Ah,
Oh man, that was max on hit and maxed on damage, dude.
Oh, god damn it. So,
Well, he's certainly gonna feel it. Best case scenario, he's gonna be too wounded to even think about returning. Worst case scenario for him, he might just fucking die.
yeah.
yeah, he looks.
Death by injury.
Hang on, that shit.
And you know what? There are guys patrolling the mountains. If they see this motherfucker flying by, then they're gonna take some shots.
Peppered with arrows.
Look, I'll be honest, I've lost count of the longbow attacks.
Well, luckily
You know what-
the range is 600 feet, so keep going, Janner.
Yeah,
We still
yeah,
have
yeah.
8 more turns in this.
I mean,
God,
you could just
God.
fudge it and say that he dies.
I mean, yeah, fuck it. What I mean, he's a.
Fuck you.
He's a, he's
Oh,
a-
Oh,
Jesus.
disadvantage. Vantage's knocking out with the crossbow.
Yeah,
blast.
no
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
kidding.
I mean, he's a very minimal health.
I
right
kind
now.
of want to give that one to the jar.
Yeah, let's
Jar with the fucking.
Yeah. So,
Here, Sharpshooter, have my advantage. Proceeds to hit above 20 with disadvantage as a fucking wizard. Motherfucker just pulls out a light crossbow, draws it.
and
Go with your shit.
the jar, make that killing blow.
Alright, he aims, cocks back, and shoots for the back of the head so that the bolt goes straight to his mouth.
Jeet.
Shunk. Well, at this distance, you don't see anything beyond the silhouette of the wings and that rider on top. 1 second, 2
As
seconds,
you fall off.
3 seconds, and you watch the rider fall limp.
Yeah.
Question. As Salyun says, do they fall off, or is he stuck in a saddle and brings the creature down with him?
He appears to be stuck in the saddle, and you can see that the creature is rapidly beginning to sort of lose its flight. And
Dead weight.
and you watch as it sort of seems to disappear off beyond the canopy.
Vellum's
You
gonna
hear
sort of,
you hear the distant shriek.
and then a splash. But Vellum is going to put a hand on Jar's shoulder and just go, well, I'd say that counts as being watchful against evil. So just very impressed, just looking at how far away that was.
You know what? I still had some pent-up aggression. I think this was warranted.
Yeah, clearly. Good job, everybody! A spiteful volley well spent.
You killed all 3 dragon lancers.
Yeah! Good fuck.
Meanwhile, I'm just over here having a sippy. Like, yes.
Just pour yourself a nice calming brew while they shoot.
Liska's just oddly lamenting the fact that she doesn't have a bow that's her size.
If I could make bows for you, I would, but I am a metal worker.
The
Who
great
says
bow.
you can't make a metal bow?
True.
Oversized
Well, make it
longbow.
My crafting rules say that I can't.
Mine don't.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, at least
So-
that's one less thing to worry about.
In fact, I'll say you will gain the inspiration from that.
Hooray! We lost nothing.
I'm okay with this.
I didn't even untick my inspiration. I just forgot.
I completely forgot my crossbow had
I
320
mean, a hell of a
feet.
time to remember it. The crossbow's just like, finally.
Ailea, you
My time to
useless.
shine.
Little do we know, Sean once touched that crossbow.
His divine accuracy.
He just brushed past it one day. That was enough.
So, with a sigh of relief, would you like to continue along the road?
Yes, I think you'd like.
Yes.
Okay. So, during the next 2 days, you leave the claustrophobic darkness of the blighted swamps.
I do have something for night 4, but I don't want to take up all the limelight if anybody else wants to join.
Oh, that's right. I need to talk to Angus.
There you go, have at it.
Alright.
This is the roleplay trick.
Where would Angus be cooking in his tent, Atlas? Or is he
I'm
doing
sorry,
something
what's
else?
going on?
The guy's looking for Angus. So where would he be doing right now?
I don't know when now is.
It's
He's driving his tank right after we shoot the thing.
fluid timey-wimey. You're all back at camp now after that day's passed.
You.
There you go. He's at camp. He's experimenting cooking several different types of meats. His kitchen is unusually messy, and there are many, like, burnt or ruined attempts. And he's
Sure.
currently in his tent.
Yard comes to the tent. Angus, do you have a moment?
Not right now. No. With a clatter of a pan. No, I do have a moment right now. It's not like this is working. What is it for you?
I need to talk to you about curses. Specifically, one messes with the soul stones.
Alright.
Have you felt, I don't know, drained, weakened at some point? Because I've having this little twitch in my eye ever since I used the soul stone during the Mortifax fight to cast a fireball at her. It hasn't gone away. Have you found it any different?
Well, I don't know. Above board. I don't know. I've asked a couple of times about that. So, I don't know if you have anything prepared, Chandra. I don't know how to respond on that.
Effectively, you're feeling a little twinge in your eye every now and then as well, like a sort of tick, and you've been in a few cold sweats these past few days, specifically kind of when you've been waking up.
Alright. That works. I understand a lot of that. Restlessness, feeling unwell. That feeling of waking up and basically being a mop. It's not pleasant. That's what happened when you dabble with these things.
What's also reading this thick, leather-bound black leather book. It was talking about other applications for soul stones, and Honestly, I still try to get a lot of it out of my mind, but you know, being a scholar, it sticks with me. Is there ways to mitigate it? I'm getting really tired of this tick in my eye.
It is very difficult, if possible. Generally, an answer is no. This is the same thing in the short, immediate term that has made orcs. In the same way, that doesn't really go away. Well, normally, not counting Golem, he's a freak of magical nature. No. Not that I'm aware of. It is a special corruption of the soul that maybe something can be done of, but that is a tall order to ask. And I'm not familiar with anything that can be done at the moment.
Okay. Now
That is why I was holding on to every soulstone.
Right.
Well, I was trying to.
Okay, now on to darker matters. I'm sorry for this.
I don't know what would be darker than that.
But simply making a deal with a hag.
No. We're not turning around.
No,
We're
no, no,
not
no.
going back to that.
No, no.
No.
Yeah, just hold up a hand. No, no, wait, hear me out.
I don't want to hear you out. This is sounding like a worse and worse idea the moment you talk.
I've already done a deal with a hag. I'm wanting to get rid of, well, the deal.
Why would you go and do that?
Repentance, redemption, and the fact I was a complete idiot at the time.
I mean, to make a deal with a hag seems a little bit self-evident. At least about that last part. I don't see how you could get any of the first ones by making a deal with a hag.
Well,
that's like going to the pastry baker to say, I'm watching my diet, as you watch everything you eat.
It came to a point where during my hunter's test, I was stuck with my partner during said test in a sort of a pickle. We were being hunted, and I was losing the trail of my target. Guilt was running my mind, and on previous days of, to be frank, murder of innocent cliff spiral, and there was something else. It's on the edge of my mind. I just can't remember what it was, but someone that I trusted said I was obsessed with something, to the point where I didn't
You can't
care.
remember.
I can't. That's kind of part of the...
His head sort of tilts and one bushy eyebrow cocks up high.
Okay.
You can't... Can you remember who you were with? On your little trial thing?
I've heard, part of... Hans's.
I don't really need the details on that, but do you remember who you were with?
Yes.
Or who you were tracking? Like, what
was-
can you not remember? Because that seems like a pretty defining moment.
I can't remember certain things about my past. To narrow it down even further,
Like, about the hunt?
no, my past, my personal past. Like, he's trying to search for the word. Hands moving around. Emily? I think?
Is it like a small detail? Like, you can't remember the birthday of a sibling? Or is it like... Because it's...
I can't... I don't know if I had a actual father or mother. I can't remember. It's all just fog.
Strange question, but do you remember remembering them before? Is this like a forgetfulness that has always lingered with you, or is this a sudden sort of awareness of I don't know anymore? Do you know that you used to know, or do you know that you never knew? Trade tongue makes that sound a lot more confusing than endorphin.
The only way, I think it's awareness. I think I only know due to the fact someone else knew what I knew, and they're retelling it like it's another life or someone else's story. The only
Did
way
you
I
meet
know.
this person on the road, or like...
They're part of my.
Is it a
my
prophetic? Did it like come to you in a dream sort of deal, or like? Sorry to ask 100 questions here, but I'm trying to sort of, you know, piece it together.
The sister of
I
my
made a
clan.
deal with a hag is a bit ominous, but very far-reaching in consequence, you know.
Okay. The sister of my clan knows my life story. She retold my life story, even though I forgot. And
So she remembered you doing things you don't remember doing.
exactly. And
or is it people you don't remember in this case?
I think it's the people I don't remember. I think. But for the memories that were taken, I can try just innately. No, with the mirror. I don't need a
Kind of
spell
rubs
book.
his bald chin. Don't you do a sort of heliomancy? You know, blood magic?
Yes.
Is your scrying more like that?
No, she... For the first time, she lifts her hood, her job, and you see scar on her forehead.
Do I see the scar on the forehead, or is she attuned and all incorporeal? And I can't see anything.
Is she a spooky snake?
No, she's not Spooky Snake. She's
Okay.
Okay.
he suppressed the effect. So,
It looks oddly familiar. A mark on a forehead.
You see what looks like a series of scars upon her forehead that look almost like a round eye.
Cryptic symbolism. I remember you being able to do things with blood whatnot before to find things and folks, like with their blood and stuff like that. You've talked about using blood in some very divination aspects.
yes, that's. I can only do that, and it portrays to the events around said person, how they died, or knowledge only known to them, like their name.
And
Where
is
they
that
been.
the type of scrying that you can do after this?
No, I can,
Or-
in a sense,
Or do
see-
you mean like, and he like kind of traces on the table with his finger a magical symbol for the scrying spell, like proper scrying.
proper scrying? I can see people at a distance.
So you know you made a deal with the hag. You didn't forget that part.
No, because Ivor, my partner during the hunt, told me that nice old lady was a hag.
Did he didn't tell you till afterwards, or did you know when they offered you this deal?
He warned me, but me being reckless, I did it anyway. He warned me that something didn't feel right, and so
He's gonna scratch his chin. I don't know anything really when it comes to beast and beast type folk. Are you an adolescent? Are you still growing? Are you in the middle stages of your life? You can see he's trying to tactfully probe and sort of see like, hey, are you an adult? Do you have that rationality?
he is an adult. Yes, he's 24 years old. I don't
know if that's out of like 25, you know?
honestly, Nagas don't live very long.
Oh, okay. I can kind of understand why.
No, different reason, but me in
Sure,
particular,
sure.
I am a due to my recklessness, I've learned now not to be so to act, not to react to things. I just used to react first, then think.
Well, I won't preach, but it's good to be able to react in the moment, but it's also good to be able to make decisions you won't wish you forgot later, you know? Not to be too tongue-in-cheek. But, You're in a tough spot, Lass. You traded what you knew for what you can learn. You can know as much as you want about strangers, but it seems like you said the word family, and you know, you can't remember parents, but siblings can, and that you were a part of it seems. So, lost the certainty of your past for the potential of the future, the familiar for the stranger, and, well, you got an eye in your noggin now, and you had to lose something to make room for it. And, I'd have to look into it and try and research more and see if there's some way you could go about it, but the first thing that comes to mind is, you know, renegotiating with that hag, going to them and trying to end the bargain. You can either try and do something forcibly and break that deal on your own, right? But that can have some dire consequences. Something like this is a powerful curse, you know. It's equal parts bane as it is boon, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's something terrible that would happen if you try and force it to end. You know, it could kill you, or you could go blind, or you could forget everything but the day that you're awake, never knowing what yesterday was, right? It could be cruel and inventive with these things.
Well,
so you could seek them out and try and have them end it.
the other thing I did find out while on my other hunt, my magic is less potent.
So your magic too.
Yes, so I traded, essentially like you said, the familiar for the unfamiliar, and my magic is now lessened because of it.
What do you mean by lessons? Is it something like your wells of inner energy, you know, your reserves have been depleted, so you can't do as much as often? Or do you feel you are impotent?
No, it's more, let's say I can hit a cultist with firebolt at the base of the neck, but it's less effective than how Sayun would do it.
He's gonna think for a moment. You ever had a dream where you have to punch somebody, but your arms feel like they're all tingly in the sleep and nothing happens?
Yes, she questions.
Does it feel like that is your magic?
More
Does it feel disconnected, like it's no longer quite a part of you? Like it's like your magical arm beyond your fingertips that throws the spell out, that connects it to the target? Does that feel tingly, like you can't put any force behind it?
It's not the force, it's more of the... Okay. If you want to hit something at a critical weak point, it is very effective, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, like if you hit the hammer at the base of someone's skull, it would kill them instantly. But imagine if a knife slit someone's throat, but yet they're still alive. That's how my magic is. The effectiveness.
So the cat is still the cat, but it doesn't do what you think it will. I
Exactly.
understand.
Yeah, and on the note of bargain, since this is helped me with a lot of things. You remember Bronze Ferguson, you read in his journal that he made a deal with this figure? What was this name?
Baldish? So known as
No,
the
no,
Lord of Whispers?
no, the one with the Sarsgarth soul.
The what, I'm sorry? Oh, the new figure.
Yes.
But how do I say it in trade tongue? Sorry, my brain is fucking slow. I can look see his
Banzala.
face. Banzala. That's right. Thank you. Aye, Banzala, a ferryman of the dead.
Okay. He made a deal with that for the tablet. Now, hear me out on this. Take this with a large grain of salt here. Could we perhaps use a similar bargain chip, let's say a very powerful soul, to get a tablet we're seeking?
I don't think that would work, because it would be for the afterlife.
Now,
right? It would be... He doesn't necessarily have a plane of torment, I think. He gets... It's like most gods, I imagine. You get your strength from your followers. If you're not a follower, if you're not devoted to him, he doesn't gain anything from you. I mean, it could be an option. I had other plans. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not too interested in giving away an Orthodox soul to a god known for trickery.
what were you planning on doing with her soul anyhow? Did you?
I'm still
have it?
sussing that details out. But I planned on having it being a part of my temple.
Okay. Yes, correct me on something. Isn't that soulstone dangerous?
Yes,
So,
very.
if it's dangerous, why would you have it a part of your temple? He's
Because I and those I want to teach will watch it.
so safeguarding it.
I don't know. I can leave it somewhere and hope it's never found. Hope that she has no influence. Hope that it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. I could try and give it away, make large amounts of money or get some power or something for it. But then I'm just putting a powerful artifact into circulation with an incredibly evil, learned and capable soul inside it. And that's just begging for it to be taken by the Awaken.
Oh, now,
And I struggled in a fight of wills against some creature called the Herald, the Man in the Mirror. And if it weren't for a spell, it would have killed me. It's my oath of vengeance. It's my grudge completed. It's my mark of dedication to my kingdom. And it may be pivotal for purifying the Cannibal King's raiment.
so here's a thought. If Bron's soul is safeguarded by Banzala, how are you going to find out his secrets?
Art of a deal. He seemed very much that he wanted to do right his wrongs and fix his errors. I invite him along into the ring he forged. That was my original intent. And going to reach towards his bag, reach into it, and pull out a skull. If all else fails, I intend to compel him.
You see visibly that Zahira has her face is almost stone cold at this moment, but her eyes betray much of her feeling. It's almost like that of a grimace, but she slowly nods.
He has a lot to answer for. He has a lot he has to do to work right. And it's often very easy for us to say, I destroyed the skeleton, therefore nothing is hurt anymore and all the bad has gone away. But that's not true. And dying doesn't necessarily fix a problem. It's so easy and so simple to just say, oh, the soul's gone, oh, the person's dead, oh, I've forgotten their name, so it's not a problem anymore. But as he looks to the ring on his hand, there are consequences that reach beyond you and beyond the grave. And we believe, as dwarves, that there is something for us beyond the grave, and then that there is a surface after that, either in spirit or once you climb and then leap from the great peaks into a new life in flesh. There cannot be peace for the flesh until his soul has properly atoned for what he has done. And from his last words, it seems he's desperate to do so.
Okay.
You
How are
can
we
be
gonna-
very direct with me. What are you trying to get at here?
Okay, how if the Bartak's soul is completely off the table to be traded, you made your point there. How are we going to get the tablet then? What is something that we can trade with Banzala in order to
That's a
get
good
the
question.
tablet?
I don't know. That's why I wanted to do a seance. To commune and to ask. So that way we could prepare it on the way to go see him. Now, of course, when we get past the wall, we can always try and find one of his followers and still do that, eh? But the absolute truth is, I do not know. I do not know what he would want. I don't know if he would even want Mordothax's soul, as I'm pretty sure he does not like undeath.
That sounds very true.
Or liches. I don't know why he would want hers unless it's an evil torment sort of thing, in which case I don't want to give him the soul stone.
Well, here's the thing. During the raid onto Mor's home, where Mordothax stayed, we stopped her from becoming a lich or whatever unholy abomination. So he's still a dragon, even though in soul form. So the other part, though, I just feel I think you would still have a lot to answer for, but considering what you told us about in the Xerxes journal, that the Herald, whatever that thing is, could tear through the veil and get souls. What is to say, and this is coming from someone who used to do shit as a thief, someone could easily come into a dwarven keep and get that and abscond. What's to stop them from doing that?
What is to stop him from taking the soul from me?
Yes,
Is that
physically.
what you're asking?
Yes.
He smirks. Well, I already beat him once.
Okay. There are a few individuals that he is hunting that he feels may have a connection to the Herald. I'm not entirely sure. This is just,
of course,
second guessing. The handyman. He is.
I have a quick question. This is now diverting a bit from just your private curses and your things like that. And now we're getting into more hammer strike.
Yeah, but
do we need to bring more people into that conversation to talk about the Herald and things like that?
No. It's coming back. Just give me a second.
Okay.
There are people that I've been hunting who are great with subterfuge and stealth. That's why I was saying that who's to say someone could a skill far beyond, I don't know, an assassin or a thief could come in and take that. You beat him at the struggle with the soul. I was there. What is to stop him from physically taking the stone?
That's a difficult question. That's why I'm trying to take it to a heavily guarded temple that is protected, including from divine and magical means, where creatures like that physically cannot enter through a magic warding barrier. That is my goal.
Okay.
I'm making a temple to my gods, and with that comes great strength. I have to learn all the sigils and all the runes, and I have to dedicate the time and the soul to do it. But I can think of no safer place for such a terrible thing than under the constant vigilant eye of those specialized in destroying it.
Okay, that answers.
What would you suggest?
I would suggest, if it's not stuck in one place. If you had like a network of temples, it could be moved and it could not be just known in one single location.
Well, I'm working on network systems. I've already talked about rails and little plans. I'd love to have multiple temples, but I kind of need to finish one first. So it's got to be somewhere. And while that's a great idea, so you can't always know which, you know, it's a fair bet that it's probably in one of my temples. And at that point, well, you don't steal the precious artifact, Miss Thief, when it's under the watchful eye of every guard and under lock and key at the tightest fort. You wait for it to be on the cart and transferred back and forth. That's ultimately its most vulnerable time. So I can definitely see your logic of keeping it its exact location unknown. But if they know the paths it has to take, it does open up the potential for something bad to happen, especially because at that point it is outside and past a magical barrier. But those are good things to consider.
Also, another thing to consider, and I'm just gonna stop this on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Why not make fake ones?
There's no reason not to. Though I imagine the terrible aura. Have you used detect magic on this thing yet?
I have not. You know what? Since we're talking about it,
He's gonna go ahead and he's gonna take it out of his. Because now that it's, they're not just carrying it, he's keeping it in his chest of preserving because it's an extra dimensional space. Instead of just on the bag of holding on his person and locked on the inside of his tank. So I'd be happy to show her to that really quick. We can say hi to the rest of the party. And just, hey, look, detect magic on that and see its fucking glow. See the glow of a legendary necromantic artifact.
ooh,
Oh yeah, it glows a bright, ghostly blue light from your detect magic as you once again shift to the visible spectrum of magic.
Nothing will be able to mimic this. You will be able to see a fake instantly, no matter how great the crystal looks, how well I mimic every scratch or buff. The moment you look at it, you will not be able to see her soul within. And that's the giveaway. And I don't know illusion magic, and I have no way to fake that. Not without making real ones and putting other souls in the rest.
ooh.
Which,
See,
if it's more souls like Valdis and other terrible people where I don't trust them going to some afterlife or a new clone, yeah, I'll do that. Because to me, that's no different than prison.
that's fair. That's fair.
But you know,
Okay.
I get ahead of myself.
But no, thank you for having this talk with me.
Of course.
Oh,
And just
and
sort of to touch on real quick for you know your curse. It reminds me of a curse of potential. You've traded the certainty of what was for the potential of what could be, but at the same time, you have lost the potential of what could be, you know, with your magic, for a baseline certainty of how to get there, with seeing things and being prepared. So it's like you have two coins, and on each one you blacked out the opposite side. So it's like you only have one coin again, but it's still worth half its value. That's the way hags and curses and these things, and corruption works. It's up to you to find new value in things in a way that doesn't depend on feeding into that cycle, you know, of flipping that coin where one end means nothing and the other's is heads or tails depending, right? You have to find the value outside of that coin toss. You have to find meaning in that coin landing on the edge. And once that curse no longer matters to you, once it has no power in your life, you've given it no power in your life. And that might be the first step of what you may need to do to rectify this in whatever ways you might be able to. I think it's definitely something that you, I, Sao Yun, for sure, are all gonna need to sit down. And if you want Vellum or Liska and Granka for support, of course, but we're gonna have to figure more out about that before we can directly target it. But with these things, the strength doesn't come from the spell book. It comes from the soul within. That's the same thing it's eaten. So, all I can say is best of luck, and if you need me, let me know.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll take that staff. The one you offered to me before. I'll ponder on what you said while taking that staff.
He's gonna rub his chin for a moment, but you're going to take the other staff.
No, I'm taking that other staff and giving it to somebody else. I'm not using it. That staff's going to someone else.
You're giving it to someone else? Why would you do that? Well, you know what? You are entitled to your fair share of trophies. Right? And if you want to pass that down, scratch that. That's not my business. Right? I've taken things and given it. That's not my business. So I'll just pull back on that immediately and apologize. If you want this stuff, absolutely. Again, the invitation to you is welcome, and thank you for coming to me with this and opening it up. I just ask that don't pawn it, don't sell it, you know, don't give it to anyone else when you're done if you'd bring it back to me, so, you know, I can watch these, because they're great artifacts of my people, but they also have the potential for incredible danger and evil. So these are the things that, you're my friends, I trust you, but I just want it under lock and key when we're done with them, you know? You can always go get it again whenever, if you change your mind, you're welcome to do so, but I just, you know, I don't know how well I'd be able to sleep, especially now, if we took something terrible out of there and it got in the wrong hands, you know?
Yeah, I understand that. I truly understand.
And with that, he's gonna go ahead and pull out that staff. Let me get that staff, and he's gonna go ahead and
plagues, yeah.
Okay. He just has it wrapped up in a series of. It's a large square pattern white cloth. You can imagine that it's a series of napkins that have been stitched together of white cloth. It's a very ceremonial sort of thing, making do in the Morbog.
Yeah.
You know.
All right.
Is there anything else, or should I go call the rest in for dinner?
You should call the rest in for dinner. That was all I need to discuss. Thank you for your time.
Of course. Of course.
Okay. So, Kronka, you wanted to do something.
Yeah. I mean,
The staff isn't
thing is
very
that I
inventory
feel like
club.
it's kind of something I want to do with everybody, but I think that it's probably best to wait until.
Well, I mean,
It's
everyone's gathered around for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You
Oh,
could
well.
do it now if you like.
Yeah. Oh well. So Grunk is gonna sit there while we're all eating, and he's gonna start to think a little bit, and he's gonna think about it's kind of that it got kind of like messy over there, so it's kind of think about like you all know that we work a little different, right? Like with deepens.
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean, from what I saw, comparing both of you side by side, yes.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's just like a little bit of a difference in like physiology. I think that's how what is spelled, like he says. But yeah. So I figured Senna will want like a little crash course in how we work. Just, could be interesting, and also I'm kind of bored and kind of just want to think of other things.
You feeling okay?
Well, I'm just kind of tired, because of everything we've done, and well, if you just, I've kind of spent, and I kind of just want to get out of here. Yeah. But yeah, is anyone be interested?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in your eyes as a deepling. Can I look at those for a second? How do those work?
Well, maybe when I'm not here anymore, you can have them. But right now, I need them.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
As he kind of
Yeah.
looks at him.
Yeah. We'll get to that. So, let's see. Grunk is gonna take out and we have like a glass, like a glass.
Like for drinking?
Yeah, or something like that. But you only have mugs.
I have a glass,
Okay, I hope you don't mind it getting dirty. You have two actually, or do you have one?
I have a few. And he pulls out a nice collection of glasses.
Okay.
And then he also pulls out a bottle of vintage whiskey.
Yeah.
They're used for this, so I'd appreciate them not being filled with unnecessary fluids.
Okay, I'm just gonna use my other bottles then. Don't worry about it. Just have a big open top. But yeah, okay. We're just gonna take out two like what are they called? Vials, I guess, glass bottles, whatever. Okay, it's gonna take one vial and one glass bottle. It's gonna take the glass bottle and it's gonna fill it with water, mostly like halfway water. And then it's gonna take some dirt and it's gonna pour in some dirt, but it's gonna pour in so that it doesn't become see-through, but it doesn't, not like it becomes like mud. So it kind of just becomes like dirty water, right?
A cloudy mixture.
Yeah. But so it's still like as flowy as normal water, just dirty. And then it's gonna take the vial, and it's gonna take and poke a little hole in his skin, and it's gonna drip a bit of blood in there. Not a lot, just like a little bit. And it's gonna take the vial and it's gonna turn it around so that the inside of it get coated with blood. And then it's gonna let that sit for a little bit. And then it's gonna take the other bottle and it's gonna hold it up. And okay, so I'm not like I'm not one of those smart people, so I'm probably gonna be a little basic. But imagine this bottle, okay? Imagine this as your body, okay? Now think of the water inside. Think of that as like kind of your soul, like your life force. You're kind of like what's making you alive, It's not necessarily like your blood or anything. It's just like it's you, like your life force, your soul, whatever.
I get you.
Yeah. So imagine if there's like gestures to anyone here that okay, so you're okay. Never mind. It's gonna take another bottle. It's gonna fill it with water, and just as much water. It's gonna hold up both of them. It's gonna be okay, and it's gonna hold up the one that's only clear water. It's gonna be okay. So this is what your souls or what your like bodies and life force looks like. Okay, and this is gonna hold up the one that's like cloudy. This is what our kind of life force and stuff works like. Okay, so the reason why, and again, I'm not a scholar. I'm not one of those smarties. But from what is being told and what we as much as we understand, when we did the big like travel, the big like exodus, whatever it's called, down deep underground, and something happened, and what people think is that our ancestors kind of went through something to do with like earth magic, like one of those ley lines,
Yes. Okay.
like when we were fighting the big dragon, like they had like cold lines, but this one would be like the earth. But yeah, so my ancestors were like infused with that, so they got like a bunch of like earth magic inside of their like very beings, and this is why it would look like this in like a simple comparison, so that it still works the same way as anything else. It just has a bunch of other stuff in it. So when we would when we die, it would be like the water disappears, but the other stuff, the dirt and rock or whatever, will remain. And that is why when we die, we turn to stone, because the only thing that's left instead of the life, we just did like the actual earth magic, kind of like oh yeah, maybe you never know. I think the others had like an idea, but yeah, no. So when we deep blink die, we turn to stone.
Huh.
And explains why you have had those stone arms fall off.
Oh yeah, you're just gonna pull out like one of these stone arms. So
Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah, so this
What the
Like,
fuck?
that's why I want.
I was kidding.
yeah,
Oh,
so
random potion. Don't ask. Anyway,
yeah, so
continue.
it was just a potion. It gave me like more arms, and then the arms disappeared, and they fell off, and then they turned to stone because they weren't like attached to me. I don't know. But yeah, no, these are my arms. As you can see, they're made out of stone, and it's something that's yeah. So it's it takes like a little while, not too long, for it to like start to happen. But yeah, it's basically just that the earth magic that's like inside of us just kind of is the thing that remains when our life force is gone. So it just kind of like is the only thing that exists, and therefore it would be it'd just be stone. It makes sense, right? I think it makes
That
sense.
makes sense now.
Yeah, so
So-
so that's what happens if if I would ever if I would ever die, then don't freak out. I guess you have been warned. I will turn to stone. But yeah, so I think that like it's not instant, it doesn't just like and then turn to stone.
Yes.
It takes a while. Like I don't really know if I ever watched like a Deepling die necessarily encountered, but I don't know. It takes a little while, maybe like a minute or two. I'm not sure.
Well, we do have enough time to save you if that were to happen.
I would like you to try at least. So another thing that's not necessarily something that's probably ever gonna come up, but it's something that is interesting because we also kind of believe that there is I don't really know what anybody else thinks, but what we believe in that while you do have probably a soul, I don't know, I'm not a magician, you also have something that's more like life juice, I guess, or just something in you that's like your life energy, because something that can happen, it's only as far as I know, it's only been like written down once, was that if you get like really sad, like you literally had like everything you ever like cared for taken away or killed or whatever, and you don't really like cope with that very well, you kind of become like depressed, like really super depressed. You kind of start to slowly turn to stone. It's not like as fast or fully like you if you die, but it's kind of like it's kind of like you just kind of given up on life. Your life juices is leaving you, and then the only thing that's like more is the stone, and it's earth magic, and it just kind of starts to take over a bit, and you just kind of find yourself having a hard time moving, and maybe your skin's like harder, but just maybe feel your limbs feel heavier and stuff. But yeah, the only reason we kind of understand that this happens or maybe happens is only really again written down once, was that it was like a man who lost his family in the cave-in, and he just couldn't really like deal with that, so he just was like just really sad all the time, and kind of stopped eating and just kind of sat and was just super sad. And yeah, he kind of started to become a bit more stony than what you're supposed to be. but it would it seems, as far as what's been written down, it was before I was alive, but it appears that like it can be reversed, because one of his kids was like found later alive, barely. Like this was like months later, like they'd been like kind of wandering some cave and trying to find their way back, but they kind of like, you know, he kind of had, you know, life returned to him. It took a little while, but he went back to being mostly normal after being mostly stone. So that's kind of how we see life, as like, you know, it's not necessarily just flesh and a soul. There's like something else, something extra, like some sort of energy or whatever. I'm not really much of a philosopher, but yeah, it's just kind of what we think, and it seems to make sense just with what I've been seeing. But I don't know. Did you say something, Ogre?
I was just remarking on, you know, more stone than we're supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're it's kind of gestures to himself. You know, we do have like part of like, you know, earth magic in us, so there's probably a bit of stone in there. It's like it's like a balance, you know. If I kind of, he holds up to like the bottle that's kind of probably started to like sediment a bit, so it kind of shakes it around. So yeah, if I would add more dirt to this, then it would, like, you know, the life juice would get like really like hot, like slushy, and not really function very well. So there's like this kind of balance thing that I'm not really sure how it works. But yeah, so if you have one more than the other, then, you know, things it doesn't really work all that well. I don't know. Again, I'm not really like, this is not necessarily like physical stuff. This is more like magical stuff, so I'm not really so into this. It's just kind of what's been taught.
He's gonna point at the arms that you took out.
Yep.
Those fell off of you?
Yeah.
Can I look at them?
Okay. You're just gonna hand him one of the arms. Okay. So yeah, it seems to just be like a solid stone arm. But
I just love the fact that he's been carrying these around.
yeah, why not?
You never know when a pair of arms will come in useful.
Yeah.
What am I stone cutting on these for, Jen?
What are you trying to figure out?
You know what? It might be a medicine roll. Because I'm trying to figure out how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah.
Like how does this into a biology?
How does sleeping work?
Sure. You make a medicine check.
While he's doing that, Sao just pulls up one of the randomness potions, just swishes around with an hand. Yeah, he drank one of these. They do weird effects.
Oh shit! You still got some of those?
Oh yeah, I got 2 of those.
Oh no.
I got 3.
Oh no.
Fuck it out.
You know,
maybe let's save those for not in the middle of the Moldbog.
Where did you find those?
You know, oh, we bought them. But my really weird potion guy, he was like, I don't know, it was very strange. But yeah, I was kind of hoping that. What?
Was he legal? Was he the actual shop owner?
Yeah, I hope so. I did actually was doing a big ruse. But yeah, I was kind of hoping that I would have the opportunity to like throw one of these in Morkifac's mouth and see what happened, but never really got the chance to do that.
Oh, that would have been great.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
unless she grew more arms or another head.
Yeah, or maybe she'd like fall in love with Liska or something. That'd be funny. But
yes, that actually happened as well. The effect.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So
with
Angus.
With their 24.
Oh no.
the various kind of very fine dimples in the arms, all the various imperfections, they almost look too realistic to be sculpted by a stonemason. He's probably correct. These were once his arms. Where he got the arms, now that you've just learned, probably from the potions.
I don't know. Have Angus ever like encountered someone that's been
Carrying around their arms? No, I don't.
no,
think
it's turned to stone before, like by basilisk or something. Similar effects.
I'm not sure if I have.
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of like that.
Oh, you could make a history check.
So,
Is it also stone cutting thing or no?
I'll say no. Actually, no. History or nature, your choice. 12. You've heard a few stories, both fiction and non-fiction, about creatures called basilisks who have been known to petrify people with their glare. You've never actually, of course, encountered a basilisk before.
No, I'm quite not stone at the moment, so I can proudly confirm that fact.
yeah. So something that you notice when you're examining the arm is that when you get to the stump, you see something that's not quite stone, and you see like where you would think that the main like artery would be in the arm, you see like a red kind of like streak of a shimmering like red.
It almost looks like a sort of very, very, very fine geode with very, very fine crystals.
Oh, Gronka kind of points at that and goes, "Oh, right." And he pokes out the vial that had his blood in it, and as it now have dried and been out for a while, I don't know how long Gronka's been talking. It's probably been meandering for like an hour. You can see like he holds it up to like the light, and you can all see that the what should be blood is now actually glimmering like really, really fine like crystal sand. So yeah, so you know,
Sort of stuck to the sides of the vial as well.
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, when you have like ketchup that's on the plate that's been there for like a little too long.
Yeah.
We've all been there. But yeah, so he kind of like holds it up and it like glimmers a little bit in the fire light.
Ken?
And so you know, it's not just our, you know, it's not just the flesh that turns into stone. Blood kind of crystallizes as well when it's been like, you know, out of us for, I don't know, a while. Kind of depends on the amount and, you know, how dry it is. And, you know, there's a lot of factors with this stone kind of stuff.
So you're saying
see that?
everywhere that you've bled in the past now has crystals growing on it?
I mean, I don't think you would really notice that it was that, but yes, technically. Technicality. Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of that about.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, Gurka kind of like shows it again that it's very just, it's barely even crystal, it's more like just sand.
So,
That, you know,
if you were injured a lot, there'd be a lot of sand around, I take it?
kind of. I mean, you know, when some of you bleeds, it just kind of becomes like a dry, you know, it's pretty much the same. It's just that mine kind of glitters a little.
What happens if we have like a lot of blood in a vial?
I never really tested, I'll be honest.
I'm not saying you should. I was just curious.
I now have a very strange idea to essentially get you to bleed in the same vial over and over And in a safe period, and just on my finger, I'm not gonna say, rip yourself open, right? But get enough that we can have this sand, and condense it down into a rock, a geode, a crystal, whatever it is, at a large enough chunk that it can be identified and studied, and Sao can do her magic stuff, and maybe it could help us understand some of the magic-y bits and some of the science-y bits. Because I'm not sure, but that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably try it one day when we don't, we aren't in a danger zone. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's mostly it. I mean, our eyes is mainly just like, being underground for so long. I think we mainly just got used to such low light and the very, very dark place that is the underground, that we just kind of adapted these eyes. There was very like very large pupils that makes it so that you could collect a lot of light and make it so that you can see good in darkness. But it also means that when there's very bright light, then that it doesn't feel very nice. I'll go with that.
So,
yeah.
If you turn to stone, does it mean your eyes turns to crystals?
I don't know, honestly. I think most people kind of close their eyes when they die. So it'd be like, I mean, also like, to be fair, I also don't really know, like, bit of culture, but actually destroying a statue is a statue, but destroying a corpse essentially is not really something that's something we do. We mainly just kind of like put it in the lava so it go back to the the fire plane and stuff. I'm not super religious, even though I guess I really should be, because I'm like the Pope. But yeah, so so we don't really like, I guess we haven't try and like crack one of us open and see what's inside. Once we've died, we kind of respect ourselves a bit too much for that. But
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like if someone you've known all your life die, and you're just like, oh, well, we have tickets, we gotta open them up and tear everything out of them.
No. It's just, have you not seen some people die with their eyes open?
I mean, mainly people, we're not like, we're not really, people who die very violently. So it's mainly stuff like, you die in your bed, or maybe in an accident. And I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know. I haven't really checked too much.
It's a very morbid question, Dajar. Can I see that vial of blood?
Yeah.
And
I had to ask.
Yeah,
I mean, going to like hold up the vial, and she's gonna reach into her pack and pull out the red crystal ruby stuff that the dragon breath one, and she's gonna compare them side by side. Are they similar or different?
They look very different. Both look very pretty in their own unusual ways, but the dragon crystals look a lot larger, more like chunks than anything. The blood in the vial is now sort of crystallized into this very, very, very fine powder, and it's and as it kind of glints against the firelight, it's weirdly pretty.
But do I mean like? I wasn't talking about physically.
Oh.
I was talking about like color-wise. Like, is this gem similar to this gem? Like,
right.
Visually, do they look?
Visually, similar color. The Yeah, there you go. In party chat, the what's in the vial looks remarkably similar to that.
Yeah, just maybe probably even finer than that.
Most likely not the same substance.
I didn't think they were necessarily the same, but alright. Unless you just kind of put stuff back. It's like, okay.
How long has this Grunka been talking?
I don't know, like an hour plus.
Okay, because I was gonna see if my detect magic was still up and saw that shit, but
I mean, probably. I mean, Grunka's been like, he's been talking a lot.
In fact, I'll say sure, for the sake of narrative. You do detect a very, very faint magical essence from that vial.
Which one of them?
The one with Grunka's blood.
oh, what school am I seeing of magic?
No school in particular, but you do get the faint sense of this this mixture of almost like elemental earth, fire.
That. He kind of just thinks about that and then notes that into a book. That's interesting.
It's very, very, very faint. It would be otherwise easy to miss, but you've got a nose for these sorts of things.
Oh, and did Liskus show that gem openly, or was that secretly? Avon.
Openly.
Did I see something off of those?
Yes. The broad essence of elemental fire.
The moment that came out and Jashar saw that's... He would ask Liska, where did you get that shard?
Wasn't, and this could just be me, but wasn't Dajar with us when we fought the war?
No.
Or she come after the fact?
Yeah,
she came after.
I think she came just after the fact.
Yeah, after.
She'd be like, oh, dragon attack.
Her face just shrunk for a bit.
Can't really say you're surprised, Dajar, considering our track record.
No, it's just fire. I saw an essence of fire come off that shard. Peculiar.
But yeah, it's if you got any questions, I guess I could try and answer. Again, I'm just like, I mostly do physical stuff, fixing people, so you kind of learn a bit or two, but I don't really know much about, the magical stuff. Only what's, what we get taught in school.
Grunka, I've known you for just a little while, but you seem fairly wise. You don't need intelligence to show that. You don't. I can tell you this. I'm intelligent, but I've been reckless on numerous occasions. And that's not wise. That was stupid.
Okay. I mean, me.
Yeah, you are... Oh, you give yourself a little bit more credit. You're wise. Wiser than most.
I think maybe. We'll see. But, yeah. Again, if anyone got any other questions, then I could try and answer. Other than that, I guess, class over.
I had so many questions in general, but I have no idea how to formulate them.
It's okay. I'm not gonna leave anytime soon, so...
Yeah, we've got a long journey with you, Grunka.
You can just
plenty of time for questions.
You can just think of them a bit and see if you can find something. But yeah, I never really thought about, you know, like a bottle of blood, what that would actually become. If it would become like sand, or if it would become like one big thing, or I don't actually know. I don't think it's ever been tested. So I guess we could try it at some point, but you know, kind of depends how it works. Because you know, I don't really want to like bleed out, so I become you know, dead.
Yeah, we are not gonna blame you of anything.
Yeah, because you know, if you take too long, then it's just gonna like become like the bottom is gonna become crystal, and you pour new stuff on it, that's gonna become crystal. And it's just gonna be like, you know, it's not really gonna mix. I think probably it's just gonna become like, you know, pile of sand. But yeah, as you could probably see, Gregor like holds up his other like stone arm. It kind of shows off the stump, and it'd be like, you know, assumedly, you know, just going from like a general idea. At least the main blood tubes also kind of crystallize, so you know, if they got a lot of blood in them, I'd assume, you know, the heart would probably also, because you know, that's, you know, the big blood. Maybe other organs, I don't know. We never really like broken someone up, or you know, had someone, you know, gutted before they died. So you know, we haven't really been around all that long.
Hey, I have one question then. How long have you been around?
Well, Gengar was still like the goblin leader back then, and still is, so it hasn't been like that long. I think it's like 300 years maybe.
Wow,
which is a couple of generations, because you know, we don't really age that long. We kind of die at like 60-ish, kind of depends.
Funny enough, Nagas only live up to 60.
Yeah, it's sad.
Hey, sometimes.
Yeah, but we gotta do the best of it.
Yep.
Like spending you know, spending a long time in an undead swamp.
I do not want to spend any more time here. I want to see the sun.
Yeah, a mistake I don't think any of us are going to make again anytime soon.
Yeah. But yeah. I do remember. This isn't really anything to do with like you know, our physiology, but there was something that was interesting that I just remembered that my mom told me about, and I haven't seen it myself, but it apparently, like, some of the like the people who like try and figure out, you know, what happened to us during the our travels to home, because we never actually like found the way we came. You know, we've been trying to backtrack, but we never actually, you know, found where the stuff happened. Kind of like, you know, it's almost like the cave. Okay, so I'm not crazy, okay? I'm not crazy, but it appears that the caves move sometimes. Okay, it's like the tunnels sometimes. You know, sometimes, you know, a tunnel go this way and then you go that way, and then you end up here. But then sometimes you go that way and it's like, wait, hang on, this isn't like it did. This tunnel didn't really been this way before, and then maybe you end up somewhere else, but or maybe not. You still in this, you end up in the same place, but not like exactly in the same place. And I don't know. I'll be, you know, I don't know. Some people think that, you know, some people notice it and some doesn't, and it's just, I don't know. It's weird. I don't. It's weird. It must be. I don't know. It's weird, but it could no. I mean, you know, actually none of you know who Greg is, so I wouldn't sound too crazy for saying it. It's probably him. But yeah, so we never really found our way back there, so we don't actually know where it was or what happened, and like anything like that. So we can only really guess and like just kind of, you know, work with what we have. But there was one thing that happened like very early on, like first generation stuff, first, second, you know, early on. So as far as what I understand, there was during the whole travel thing, there was like a little girl, right? And her dad or someone, I don't know, made her a little like a little stone like guy, you know, like a little doll, kind of little man, like pretty small, like the size of a hand, maybe smaller. Carved from a rock, and she supposedly dropped it during the travels, and you know, it kind of came back when she was a very old woman. They kind of say that it just kind of like came walking in to town and seemed to like, I don't know, it almost seemed to know where she was, and it just kind of walked up to her, and I think she died then. She was very old, and I think she might have had a heart attack. I'm not really sure. I wasn't really there. It was probably like 5 generations ago, maybe, probably more actually. But yeah, the first times were kind of tough. But yeah, so I think, again, I've never really seen it, but they say that they still have him, like in their like kind of research place. But he also they also said that he kind of stopped moving after she died. Although sometimes she kind of like moves a little bit when there's like a little girl that's close by, but it stops pretty quickly because I think he realized that it's not her. So I don't know, maybe that's something to do with all that magic that happened. I don't know, it's just kind of a neat thing, I guess.
Thank you for sharing that, Drunka. That's
It was very enlightening.
The place is the underground is very weird sometimes.
Yeah, you don't say.
So yeah. Yeah, I think can't really think of anything else right now. You know, so if you guys have any questions or think about anything, then, you know, feel free.
Right now I have nothing well formulated, but
yeah, don't worry about it.
I must think of my questions.
Okay, so yeah. No, never mind, it'll be dumb. Oh yeah. So you know, if I do, if I do die and you know, stuff, then you could at least try to get me back. I guess. I don't really know how that works, but you know, you could give it a try.
Well, yeah, if you start.
How long until you turn to stone, or you start that process?
Well, the way you count.
I think he
is
said it was about a minute or something when he mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, the way you count is a little bit different from what we
Sorry,
do,
there's been a lot
so-
of history and stuff
Yeah, I
since then,
don't.
so some
Yeah,
things
I'm
we
sure. I
have
kind
to
of tend to blend.
retain.
But yeah, but you kind of count time a little bit differently when we did, but it's around that. Yeah, something around that.
Okay.
Actually, I have a question about time. How do you count time? Like, what is? Because I know that you do you do seconds, but like, how long is a second? How do you determine what a second is? Like, what do you go on?
Sam just sort of blinks for a moment because this is one of the questions she hasn't asked herself yet. But it does sort of make her think.
Yeah, because we kind of like we have this thing called the Glimmermoss, which kind of pulses a bit, I guess, and kind of like goes like it kind of brightens up for like a bit, and then it gets darker again, and then it brightens up a bit, and we kind of just start doing time around those because it's kind of like all over the cave ceilings where we live, so it's a little bit like day and night, but you know, it's not quite. I think it's a bit shorter intervals than what's up here. But yeah, I used to have a little piece of moss with me, but you know, it kind of died. I'm not really good with plants. Is moss a plant?
Yes.
Never mind. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I've kind of threw it out, which, you know, maybe I shouldn't, but yeah, it was dead anyway. So I guess I've just kind of learned how you do time now, but it's a bit weird because I don't really know what you base it on. Because I know that you have like the sun or whatever that thing is.
Yeah, it's called the sun, and we.
Yeah, it's a
where I'm
big.
from.
It's a big fucker. You should probably take it out before it falls down and crush anyone.
Okay, to answer your question, how we do time, at least for where I'm from, by extension, Vellum, we use sundials, where the sun tracks. We keep time that way.
Can you keep seconds? Like, if
I don't know about seconds.
If I'm thinking about seconds, I just go like, at least this
heartbeat.
is in no, your heartbeat.
Because
You were very out of shape if your heartbeat is like one. Anyway, so like, I was just saying, if like in Ragnarok we just go like 1 Patricia, 2 Patricia, 3 Patricia, 4, like that's a second. But like,
But
No,
how
we
did
got
you-
something like that out east as well, except it's sunrise.
Who's Patricia?
Oh.
that is a long question, and I am already I nodded off, no offense, a bit in the middle of that there. Like,
Okay, but you know what did they do before her? How did he
there
count
was
her?
no before her.
Oh, damn. Okay. It's okay. Is she the sun?
No, then
Okay.
she would be the sun.
Oh, okay. I don't know how the demons work.
It's okay. I just learned how you work, so
A little bit, yeah.
Mhm.
As good as I can do it.
it was well done. Good job.
Thanks. I'm not a teacher. This will not be a test.
Well, that's good. I wrote nothing down.
Yeah, me neither.
Yar just looks down at her notebook and he closes it, hides it away.
It's okay, he did it.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that was a very informative talk.
Yeah.
now feel all the more capable to convince other people you are not a goblin. Because I'll be honest, I look at you and I'm like, goblin's covered in rocks. But then I realize, no, you're not covered in rocks. You're a goblin that got filled with rocks. You are rock.
Yeah, but
You are closer to a golem, to me, than a goblin. And I think that's pretty neat.
I guess you're right, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Something that's, yeah, I just kind of thought about something that I luckily never had to do. But, you know, it it happens sometimes when you, you know, actually just kind of awkward. And it's probably not very interesting. But, you know, when a woman when the baby in the woman doesn't, you know, survive before it comes out, it yeah, it kind of starts to solidify a bit in there.
Does that kill the mother?
Do we really have to talk about this right now?
I'd rather not.
No, but
Yeah,
I kind of realized it. But no, not anymore.
I
Not
see
anymore.
that being...
But yeah, no, not anymore.
Ooh.
Maybe before, early on, but not anymore. You know, we learned how to deal with that. Normally with a knife.
Yes, so we're moving on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get some sleep because we have a long way to go tomorrow. So
Yeah,
I'm
all
going
this
to
talk.
turn in.
Yeah, all
What a
this
thing to leave off for pleasant dreams, right?
Yeah, all this
I'm
lack of
gonna-
oxygen made me very tired.
I'm gonna go
Oh,
out
you
the
never
tent
got
for
to
some
the eyes, by the way. Would I be able to look at him?
That could be a conversation for either the road or tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, on the road.
I think I need to see today.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he is gonna drive all day, so you kind of need to look at the road, or you know.
Yeah,
count
so
the
if I
road.
could just look at the eyes for now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna pop him
So
out real quick.
How wide can you get him? Let me just start a staring contest. And he's looking at his eyelids, and he's looking to the side, and he's looking for everything that he saw for the signs of the Morbach fucking with people.
Okay. So, well, I guess, well, if you're
Is
looking
it
at his
obvious
eyes,
that yes, he has had a woe?
I mean, he looks beat. Like he looks kind of like, I guess a little bit like baggy under the eyes. Like he looks tired. It doesn't look necessarily like any other than that. He just looks, yeah, he looks kind of drained. Just, it looks like he's been up like maybe 1 or 2 nights. Even though you know he hasn't.
I'm just gonna give him a good old pat on the shoulder and say, well, thank you so much for sharing all of that information.
Yeah, I haven't really talked in like 2 days, I think, so...
You haven't talked in a while. I was worried you forgot. Thank you for including us.
Yeah, I know. I also just felt like, you know, it could have gotten pretty close back there, and then I kind of realized that, oh wait, you don't know how this works. So I felt like it was probably a good idea, so you don't think I'm like, you know, dead, like mega dead when I turn to stone. Or if you think that like, oh, we'll deal with this later, but then, you know, statue. Also, oh, last thing, if I do, you know, turn to stone, maybe there's I don't really know how it works, but you know, if I do turn to stone, try not to shatter me, please. You know, keep me intact. I'll try and die like, you know, with as few you know, protruding body parts as possible, but you know.
Just picture him curling into a ball.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, if you have the capacity to curl into a ball,
yeah, I'm gonna
and
try.
hold them.
Hold my hands over my ears. But yeah, you know, if I just, you know, it's be a bit on a bit of a more serious note, if I do, you know, die, and there's no coming back from that, then it's gonna throw me in some lava. I'm sure Igneous will figure out the rest.
Okay.
Well, hopefully it won't come to that.
Yeah.
Okay, odd question, since it's been sort of rummaging in my head. Would we be able to animate your corpse using the animated object spell?
It's magic, and I don't know magic.
No, I mean like you turn to stone.
I mean, yeah, but I don't really know how that works.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that's still a
that's-
magic thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, could you do that on a normal corpse? I don't know. I don't know how that works. I'd rather you didn't try. But you know, mainly because you know, I don't really like the bodies being like, you know, my people is being defiled. But you know, I guess if you ever have the chance to try, and I guess tell me what happened.
I prefer you were very much alive.
Yeah, thanks. Same. I'm gonna go sleep now. I'm very tired.
I have removed your woe.
Thank you. I'm still very tired. all this talking made meant less oxygen for my brain. I'm tired. But thank you.
Ooh, introvert.
Okay.
Yeah. Time to sleep.
Okay then. So,
Ah.
unless anyone has anything else to say, we can hop on over to tomorrow.
I have to wait till next session because we're almost at time.
Is it something that has to be said on the road?
No, it could be at a it was a nighttime event, but it's gonna be lengthy, and I don't want to put us over.
Okay.
I could feasibly have it happen after we do this wall business, or rather get to the wall.
Okay. So, yeah, during the next the next 2 days, say that correctly, you leave the claustrophobic darkness of the blighted swamps, you freeing your noses from the corrosive, acrid sting. The pale and grey skies greet your eyes once more. You almost have to shield them as they adjust. Eventually, you start to see bright points of orange light in the distance. As you veer closer, these appear to be torchlights erected alongside a weathered weathered cobblestone path, overgrown with dead moss and vegetation. The path, well travelled, lies before you, and you keep to the west along the path. At some point during this, Tikali kind of mentions to all of you as she kind of turns to her human form in a cloud of scintillating blue light. She says, yep. Chances are, if those in the walls are searching for traitors among their ranks, then they will discover the hostile dragonborn among them. And, well, that will be their first point of contact with our kind. They are going to take every precaution possible once we reach the gates.
Are you worried they would hold you captive as well?
Yes, I would not blame them for thinking the same of me. I would rather not be sitting in a dungeon for days of interrogation.
It won't come to that. We'll vouch for you.
But if worse comes to worse, Do you think we could devise a way for me to get through the wall without being discovered? I did, after all, manage to get through their checkpoint initially by wearing this. And much as her clothing seems to shift, becoming this long, plain set of brown traveller's robes, laced with a number of colourful blue feathers around the rim of her hooded shoulders. Some of you are familiar with this. This is shiftweave.
Faint?
It seems to throw off their detection of magical effects, but I'm not sure how well they'd be prepared, knowing that there are shapeshifters among the ranks.
If they discover you, we'll handle it.
And we also have, like, all of these people, and she motions to all the scouts they saved to vouch for you, so I don't see how this would be an issue.
Perhaps I am just worrying too much.
You're thinking too much, hon. You don't. We killed more than. Oh, wait, hold on. At the mention of that, Yara does say Cindy in 5 words to Selma. We killed more Mortifacts, by the way, so don't have to worry about it.
3 days later.
I was wondering when that would happen.
Complete forgot.
There's a long pregnant pause.
Not anymore. That fucker's that little bat is dead.
There's and thankfully the spell seems to have reached its target. They haven't gotten to her yet. And she says, as much as I would like to believe it, the rest will need to see with their own eyes.
Oh,
but please bring proof of her death.
You want to see the skull or the skin?
This is a message. We can't hear this.
I mean, there's no reason to even follow up. She's given her terms. We can just save the spell slot and skedoodle.
Yeah, we do have proof that we've killed her.
Yep.
It might be the first time, but we still have proof.
Proof is proof. We don't have to tell her about the rest until everything is honky dory.
Yeah, we just show up at the front door. They ask, "Okay,
You don't have to tell them that we're eating her.
Yeah.
We don't have to tell her that there were 2 of them. And we definitely don't bring up the soul.
3, kind of. Depends how it counts.
I mean, technically 3. We killed the clone. We killed her other clone in the original body, so whatever.
Not only did we kill the clone, Drunka still has some of its poop.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright. So, upon the horizon, you see the shape of an enormous structure emerging through the fog. A massive wall extending from one side of the horizon to the other. As your cavalcade trundles closer, the scale of this construction becomes clear. Just as large as the northern wall. Nearly 300 feet tall at its tallest places. Massive stone watchtowers line it periodically off into the distance. Faint, moving torchlights wander the length of the structure, indicating hundreds of people are currently manning it. The path leads to a gargantuan fortress situated before you. Constructed, maintained and weathered over hundreds of years, the cliff and stone around it seems to naturally cascade up to form its surface, as if it was carved or heaved up from the earth itself. Again, very similar to the first wall. You can see various recesses, murals and pillars depicting totems of grimacing faces where the mouths might be used to conjure and spill hot oil. You can see gold-trimmed carvings of feathered serpents that twist around the watchtowers, or these large stone humanoids bearing offerings of golden skulls and blue candlelight where their head should be, like some sort of best way to describe it would be like some sort of funeral memorial taken into a sort of a humanoid form, kind of recessed into the masonry. It looks like they could come alive at any moment. The architecture, or rather the keep here, it's smaller than the Ironsgate keep, but no less fortified. The architecture takes on a notably more sort of temple-like appearance, not too dissimilar to the various ziggurats that you've encountered across the Moorbook, but these are slightly different, taller, more refined, more well-maintained. And whereas upon the northern wall you might see openings for like cannon fire, here you can instead see a number of large runes carved into the walls. The path sort of leads up to a tall hill, and you can see an empty 15-foot gap spans between it and an intricately carved stone wall.
I see.
Yeah. Above.
Over the ear room real quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead.
Yvette.
Nope, go right on ahead.
Alright, okay.
I was just gonna say, shall we make a flashy entrance?
Yes,
Sal
so?
just sort of
Like how so? Do we want to put like Mortadex's head on the front of the steam hammer or something?
Or use a spell to animate the dead object so it just sort of floats around like a trophy. Not a spirit thing, but like a telekinesis thing.
Let's avoid that. Maybe they'll take it as something different.
Yeah, I think just mounting it is fine.
Yeah, mounting sounds better.
Okay.
Alright. So you take out Morthax's head from... I think Liska had it in her bag of holding.
That makes sense. I wasn't holding on to the body parts, just
Okay.
Yep.
And it's difficult to take out of such a small bag. You also kind of strain it, and you're thankful that this is magical. Otherwise, it would tear at the seams.
Yep.
And after some finagling, you do manage to pop it right out, and you begin the process of actually. Was this in the bag of coaling?
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. Otherwise, all the flesh would just slough away.
Yeah.
Yes,
Bag of holding, one, because it's meant for taking in larger objects, unlike the bag of holding, and two, because it preserves them.
Yeah, it's easy to prove when there's still stuff attached to it.
Yeah. Okay, so you tie the severed head of Mortithax, the first time you killed her, to the front of the steam hammer, and you begin your approach to the wall. You can see above, kind of across the top of the main gatehouse here, you can see a number of guards patrolling, very, very distant, kind of speck, who seem to notice your approach, and they signal to a number of their fellow compatriots who they begin to make their way down towards a closer view of you. And they seem to notice your approach. They're wielding tall spears, wearing a golden scale mail with the visible crest of the gatekeepers, and helmets adorned with brightly coloured feathers, red in this case. And they kind of shout out to a number of other guards. Who speaks to Hosian here?
I said to say fucking nobody.
I kind of figured as much. Eventually, you see a number of, rather, a guard of higher station kind of peer over the wall, examine the situation, and he wears this broad leopard skin cloak, and dons a helm adorned with black feathers. almost shaped like that of a sunrise, if you will. He seems to rather his scale mail is trimmed with gold, and after a sort of brief examination, he nods at the other guards, shouts out something in an odd language. And a few moments later, you then see an individual dressed in green robes approach the edge of the wall. And she's adorned in a large headdress of leaves and flowers, wearing a necklace of large fangs, and her arms rattle with all sorts of gold bangles. And she kind of takes a small bowl, puts it on the edge of the wall in front of her, scoops up what looks like a pinch of sand and earth, and claps her hands together and begins to weave a spell through the air.
Can I tell what spell it is?
You can make a.
Or can I tell if it's a cleric spell? Then I would know. Is it on that spell list, or does this seem to be arcane in nature? Does Jars for it?
Actually, you've used this spell before. It's some sort of variation, a specialized variation of stone shape.
Ah, I see. Very good. I immediately convey that information to the party so they don't worry about spells being cast.
Okay.
And the ground begins to shake, and the enormous, sheer, flat, featureless wall in front of you begins to, well, not feature, it's got a number of carvings and stuff in it. It begins to crack and shift, and all the murals kind of carved in the stone begins to move and shift apart. And from below you, in the empty gap between the hill and the wall itself you stand on, and the shifting wall, the ground itself appears to heave up to meet you, completely fill in the gap entirely. And
Sarah just sort of looks to Angus and just, okay, this is kind of wild.
Seems that these individuals rely less on mechanics and sort of intricate cogs and clockwork and technology. Rather, they rely mainly more on magic.
Understand.
And as the gap in the wall opens, you can see a regiment of gatekeeper guards filtering out one by one to greet you, though their weapons are drawn as a precautionary measure. They're clad in differently than the soldiers you saw guarding the northern wall. Most of them possess some sort of ringmail or chainmail, woven with these dark obsidian plates and adorned in different coloured feathers. The feathers seem to denote station here. But the colour scheme does broadly match the black and gold and red of the order. The officer you saw earlier joins the regiment to keep watch. You notice what clearly appears to be three among the regiment with tomes chained to their belts, wearing mostly long robes, a series of 3 different masks, and a series of strange adornments. The religious iconography is different between the 3, but they all appear to be human. The first, appearing from behind the regiment, out to see you, is a youthful adult woman, tan skin, dressed in a manner similar to the spellcaster that opened the gate. She wears little beyond a long form obscuring robe and a sort of wide mantle of feathers. She wears a painted terracotta mask reminiscent of a stylized reptilian creature. The second is a middle-aged man dressed in purple robes trimmed with gold, and a golden mask reminiscent of a serpent, and purple feathers plume around the edges of the mask as well. The third is an older, hunched man, dressed in ragged black robes and adorned with all sorts of small bones and shrunken skulls that clack together as he shuffles out from behind the regiment, and he wields a tall ritual staff he uses as a walking stick. And he wears a skull as a mask with adorned orange petals. They hold out their holy symbols and chant a series of prayers underneath their breaths, and each holy symbol pulses a different colour, and their eyes glow the same faint radiant hue. You've experienced this before. This appears to be a standard procedure on either side of the wall. Detect evil and good, detect poison and disease, detect magic.
Yeah, we're glowing like a fucking rave party.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully you're the only the good kind of colours. Because hopefully people were smart enough to put their bad shit away.
They walk by your convoy with purpose, looking over each and every one of you with discerning eyes. Actually, hang on. I'm gonna do this really quick. No, bad time for Chrome to freeze on me.
No.
Oh no.
Here we go. Okay. So you watch as the individual in the purple robe seems to very closely examine Tikalia. And then moves on. And you notice, Velum, you've got the highest insight here. Tikalia gives a sigh of relief.
Just give her a little nod.
Let's see, Angus, make me a religion check, please. Not bad. So, the woman wearing the green robes and reptile mask appears to be a Takandan druid. You don't know much about the living gods, about the living god called Takanda, but her worshippers tend to be druids, nature priests and clerics, and beast tamers. The man wearing the purple robes and feathered serpent mask is a priest of Quetzali. Quetzali's worshippers tend to be mages, arcana clerics, educators, scholars, arcanists. The old man, judging from his attire, you can safely assume to be a Banzalan witch doctor. Banzala's most dedicated followers are typically undertakers, grave clerics, undying warlocks, witches, and of course, witch doctors. And
Interesting.
The skull, or the head of Mortathax, has not gone unnoticed by the regiment. There are numerous astonished gasps, whispers in their own native tongue towards their compatriots.
Can Liska listen for anybody gasping or muttering in Draconic?
Ooh, make a perception check.
Smart.
I want to preemptively use my inspiration on this. And let's see.
I would offer guidance to you, but I don't think I know what you're doing.
Yep. And also muttering a spell while they're checking this.
18.
God damn.
You kind of listen very, very closely. You don't hear any specific sounds that are familiar to you from what you've heard of Draconic being spoken. Because while you don't speak Draconic, you do know vaguely what it sounds like.
No, I do speak Draconic.
Oh shit! Do you? Right, my bad.
Yeah. That's why I was like, can I listen for Draconic?
Right. Okay, my bad. So you don't hear any Draconic among the crowd.
All right, cool.
After a moment, the Quetzali priest makes a hand signal to the rest of the regiment and shouts something in his native language. Apparently you've been given the clear to enter, as the 3 rejoin the regiment and allow you to pass into the fortress. Meanwhile, the rest of the scouts are being seen, their wounds very quickly examined, and they're being quickly ushered into the keep for medical attention. Chatter is abound in both of these people's native tongue and trade tongue. You hear the thankful banter of friends reunited, as well as some whispers of, "Is that who I think it is on that metal rail? No, could be a fake." And you hear one of the scouts you're with, "No, it's real," as they're ushered into the keep.
Puffing my chest out a little bit.
Every right to be. As you look back out over your shoulders into the plains beyond that tremendous expanse of dreary grey marshland, seeing not the horizon for weeks on end, just that thick gaze, that thick haze of pale fog that's been ever present throughout your journey, throughout these accursed lands. The colourless greys that have refused to give way to the life of colour, no dapples in sunlight, no rain, nor a light breeze. You can see the barren, blackened trees that curl up from the boggy terrain like wretched claws. Even after only a month here, it's difficult to imagine what full green trees look like. As well as the sound of wildlife. Any wildlife. You've grown numb to the occasional wail or otherworldly cry, or the burbling and shifting of stagnant water. It'll be nice to see the sun again, hear, smell and see life again. Life this place so desperately and sorrowfully clings to. You turn your backs as the stone door begins to reseal itself. The sight of the Moorblock lingering in your gaze one last time. You have given this place a sliver of hope that one day it will be healed. One day it will see green once more. But for the moment, you leave behind a land cursed by death and sorrow. You've made it.
Oh, finally!
You have survived
Thank fuck.
the Moorbog.
We did it, guys.
Sayun, as the doors begin to finally close, you turn around and see perched on the very tip of one of these skeletal trees a familiar sight, the blind crow.
Fucking bird.
Gives a caw once more. And the doors shut behind you.
We're out of the fucking depression hole.
A fucking year. We've been in that fucking hole for a year.
All we gotta do is get through the wall.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for the beach episode.
That's probably a few days away, maybe a week or two, depending on how long it takes to get to the shoreline.
So, I'm going to stop recording in 3, 2, 1.